Life is filled with distractions, challenges, and setbacks that can pull you away from what truly matters, your own growth. It's easy to lose focus on yourself when the world is constantly demanding your attention. But here's the truth. If you don't prioritize your own progress, you'll never reach your full potential. This book, Don't Lose Focus on Yourself, is about rediscovering that focus, reclaiming control over your life, and staying dedicated to your personal journey every single day. In the chapters ahead, you'll learn how to train your mind, develop discipline, push through discomfort, and stay loyal to your goals, no matter the obstacles. This is your time to take action, make changes, and start seeing real results. If you're ready to stop letting distractions define you, and you're willing to invest in yourself, this book will guide you every step of the way. Keep reading, and let's begin this transformation together. Chapter 1. Take control of your day with purpose now. Every single day you wake up is a new chance to either own your life or let it pass by on autopilot. That's not just a feel-good idea, it's a fact. Too many people wake up and move through their day without any clear direction. They check their phones before even getting out of bed, scroll through distractions, respond to every message, and drift from task to task. Hours pass, and by the time the day is over, they feel like nothing meaningful was accomplished. That isn't living. That's just existing. If you want to grow, if you want to be in control of your life, you need to take control of your day, starting right now. Purpose is not something you find one day in a moment of clarity. It's something you build every single morning through action, discipline, and intention. Taking control of your day doesn't mean planning out every second or forcing yourself into a rigid schedule. It means waking up with clarity about who you are becoming and what you need to do to move closer to that version of yourself. It means deciding how you will use your time instead of letting the world decide for you. When you don't take control of your day, everything else will. Distractions, noise, other people's priorities, they will run your life for you. The moment you give up control of your time, you give up control of your growth. And the truth is, you don't get days back. You never get to repeat today. Once it's gone forever. That's why it matters so much that you approach each day with a sense of purpose, clarity, and urgency. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. The first step is to wake up with a decision already made. Don't leave your energy and mindset to chance. Start by getting up at a consistent time, before the world pulls you in different directions. In that quiet space before the noise begins, decide what kind of person you're going to be today. Are you going to be focused or distracted? Are you going to follow through on your goals or give in to excuses? Are you going to move closer to who you want to be, or are you going to stay stuck in old patterns? The way you start your day sets the tone for everything else. If you begin rushed, reactive, and scattered, you'll carry that energy into every decision. But if you start with clarity, calm, and a strong sense of direction, you'll handle challenges with strength and stay on track even when things get tough. Take 10 minutes at the start of each morning to ground yourself in your purpose. That purpose doesn't need to be grand or dramatic. It can be simple: to become more disciplined, to treat others with patience, to stay focused on your goals, to build something meaningful. What matters is that it's real. Write it down, keep it in front of you. Remind yourself throughout the day. Most people live in a fog of distraction. You must train yourself to rise above that fog by living each day with intention. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about eliminating the noise and focusing on what moves you forward. Once you're clear on your purpose for the day, structure your time around it. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you use it reveals what you truly value. Stop giving away hours to things that drain you or keep you stagnant. Start protecting your time like it matters, because it does. Block out focused time for your most important goals. Turn off notifications. Put your phone in another room if you have to. Say no to things that don't align with your priorities. Every time you say no to something that doesn't matter, you're saying yes to something that does. You don't need to be perfect with your schedule. You just need to be deliberate. Give your energy to the things that grow you, challenge you, and move you closer to your goals. That could be working on a skill, building your business, writing, training, learning, or planning. Whatever it is, protect it fiercely. Build your life around the things that make you stronger, not weaker. Too often, people drift through the day, doing things out of habit, not choice. They check their phones every few minutes, respond to messages they didn't need to, scroll through content they'll forget by tomorrow, and then they wonder why they feel unmotivated, lost, or behind. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about waking up and choosing differently. You don't owe your attention to everything that asks for it. You owe it to the life you want to build. Clarity leads to power. When you know what you're aiming for, every moment becomes an opportunity to act in alignment with that goal. That doesn't mean you won't have setbacks, distractions, or difficult days. You will. Everyone does. But when you're rooted in purpose, you return faster. You reset quicker. You keep moving forward. Discipline is built through daily decisions. It's not about motivation or inspiration. It's about showing up even when it's hard, boring, or uncomfortable. Especially then, if you want to take control of your day, you must take full responsibility for it. That means no blaming, no complaining, and no waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is right now. Your life is shaped by how you use your time today, not by what you say you'll do someday. Action is what separates those who change from those who just wish things were different. The Stoics believed in focusing only on what's within your control. Your effort, your attention, your actions. That's what you control, not the outcomes, not other people, not circumstances. When you fully accept that, you stop wasting energy on things outside your reach. You start pouring everything into what you can do today to improve your life. That mindset alone will change everything. It gives you power. It gives you peace. So how do you take control of your day in a real, practical way? Start the night before. Prepare yourself mentally and physically. Know what your top priorities are for the next day. Set out your tools, remove distractions, and go to bed with intention. When you wake up, get up. Don't hit snooze. Don't scroll. Get up, get grounded, and start moving in the direction of your purpose. Even if it's uncomfortable. Especially if it's uncomfortable, choose 3 priorities. Not 10, not everything, just 3. These are the things that, if done, will make the day feel like a win. These should be aligned with your bigger goals, your health, your mind, your purpose, your growth. Focus deeply on these. Block time for them. Eliminate interruptions, and when resistance shows up, and it will remind yourself why it matters. Remind yourself who you are becoming through this process. Use time checkpoints throughout your day. Stop every few hours and ask yourself, am I doing what I said I would do? Am I using my time wisely? Am I staying connected to my purpose? This simple habit will pull you back on track when you drift. It keeps you honest. It makes you aware. Build in time to breathe, reflect, and reset. This isn't about grinding yourself down. It's about rising up with strength, clarity, and energy. Rest is not weakness. It's part of the process, But rest must be earned through effort, not used as an excuse to avoid the work. Earn your rest by staying true to your purpose throughout the day. Then rest fully and come back stronger. Avoid multitasking. It's a trap. When you divide your attention, you divide your results. Do one thing with full focus, then move to the next. That level of presence will build discipline and deepen your sense of purpose. It will train your mind to resist the pull of constant distraction. That's real strength. Remember, you're not just managing your time, you're building your future. Every moment spent focused, intentional, and purposeful is an investment in a stronger, wiser, more disciplined version of you. And every moment wasted is a debt you'll eventually have to repay. Taking control of your day also means taking control of your energy. Move your body, eat clean, stay hydrated, get sunlight. These things aren't just physical, they shape your mindset. A strong body supports a strong mind. Don't ignore that. If you feel sluggish, unfocused, or unmotivated, check how you're treating your body. It matters more than you think. At the end of the day, check in with yourself. Ask what you did well. Ask where you lost focus. Not with judgment, but with honesty. You can't improve what you won't acknowledge. Track your wins. Track your slips. Then decide what you'll do better tomorrow. This simple reflection will keep you aligned and growing. It will keep your purpose alive. And that's what this is all about. Keeping your purpose alive. Every day, through action, through focus, through discipline. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up with intention. You just need to take control of your day and act in a way that honors the person you are becoming. This is your life, your time, your responsibility. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to build your dream for you. That's on you. And that's the good news. Because once you decide to take full control, once you stop waiting and start moving with purpose, you become unstoppable. Every day is a chance to either get stronger or stay the same. Take that seriously. You have the power to shape your life, but only if you take control of your day. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, right now. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can, but above all, do it with purpose. Chapter 2. Build strong habits that strengthen your future daily. There's a reason your future doesn't wait. It's built every single day through the actions you take and the habits you repeat. No one wakes up successful, disciplined, confident, or mentally strong. They become those things over time through consistent effort and deliberate choices. Habits aren't just things you do. They are things that shape who you become. The quality of your habits determines the quality of your life. If you want to grow, evolve, and create a better future, it starts with building the kind of habits that will carry you there. The truth is, every habit is either building your future or slowly breaking it down. There's no neutral ground. Every choice is either adding strength to your character or stealing momentum from your goals. And most of the time, it's not the big dramatic choices that define you. It's the small daily decisions, the ones no one sees, the ones you think don't matter. They matter more than anything else. People often chase change through motivation. They wait for the right feeling or the perfect time. That's a mistake. Feelings are inconsistent. Motivation fades, but habits stay. Habits are built when you show up no matter how you feel. That's where real growth begins. Not in the rush of inspiration, but in the quiet decision to be consistent when it's inconvenient. If you want to take ownership of your future, build habits that reinforce discipline, self-respect, and daily improvement. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Missing a day won't ruin you. Quitting will. A bad moment doesn't mean you failed. What matters is that you return to your habits again and again until they become part of who you are. You're not going to change your life by doing something once. You change it by doing it every day. The repetition matters. The discipline matters. The effort you put in when no one is watching. That's what builds confidence. That's what creates momentum. You don't build a better life by thinking about it. You build it by doing the work again and again until it becomes natural. Start with one small habit that supports your future. Don't overwhelm yourself with a list of 10 things. Start with one. Something clear. Something manageable. Something meaningful. Maybe it's waking up early and moving your body. Maybe it's journaling for 5 minutes each morning. Maybe it's cutting out one negative behavior that's holding you back. Whatever it is, start. Then repeat it. Daily. Without negotiation. Small habits done consistently are more powerful than big habits done occasionally. Stop trying to change everything at once. That's not sustainable. What works is daily consistency. Even if the habit seems small. What matters most is that you're training your identity. Every time you follow through on a habit, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. That's what builds self-belief. That's what builds strength. Don't rely on willpower. Build systems. Willpower runs out. Systems keep you going. Make your good habits easy to follow. Remove friction. Create an environment that supports your goals. If you want to stop wasting time, remove the things that waste your time. If you want to start reading more, put your book where you'll see it. If you want to start meditating, create a quiet space that invites calm. Your environment either supports your habits or sabotages them. Control it with intention. Don't expect instant results. Real habits take time. They require patience, but they're worth it. The changes you don't see today are building the life you'll live tomorrow. Stay consistent even when it feels like nothing is happening. Progress is always being made, even if it's invisible. Trust the process. Trust your effort. Trust your discipline. It's also important to remember that not all habits are about action. Some are about thought. The way you think, the way you respond to stress, the way you speak to yourself, these are habits too. Build mental habits that support your growth. Practice gratitude. Practice focus. Practice emotional control. When your mind becomes stronger, your actions follow. A disciplined mind creates a disciplined life. You don't need to be extraordinary to build strong habits. You need to be committed. You need to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself what you're doing daily that's keeping you from becoming better. Then change it. One habit at a time. You don't need a massive overhaul. You need consistency, clarity, and courage. Every habit you build should be connected to a bigger reason. Not just something you want to do, but something that aligns with who you want to be. If your habits have no purpose, they won't last. But when your habits are tied to your future, you'll stay committed through the hard days. You'll stop seeing them as chores and start seeing them as investments. Your future is a reflection of your current patterns. If you're always delaying the important work, waiting for the right mood, or quitting when it gets hard, your future will reflect that. But if you show up consistently, do the work, and build discipline through repetition, your future will be filled with strength, progress, and confidence. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. There's just the decision to live better every day through the habits you choose. You can't rely on luck. You can't hope things will change. You must become the reason they change. And that starts by mastering what you do daily. Look closely at your current routines. Ask yourself if they align with your goals. Are your habits pushing you forward or pulling you backward? Are they making you stronger or weaker, more focused or more distracted? You must be brutally honest. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from confronting what needs to change. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop letting comfort win. Start doing the hard things because they make you better. You don't build strong habits by choosing what's easy. You build them by doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. That's where strength is built. That's where habits become unshakable. The more you repeat a habit, the less resistance you'll feel. At first it's hard. Then it becomes normal. Then it becomes who you are. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just begin. Action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. You won't always feel like it, but you can train yourself to act anyway. That's discipline. That's how you take control of your future. Strong habits require boundaries. Protect your time. Guard your energy. Say no to the things that pull you away from your goals. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your time. Be selective. Be intentional. You can't build strong habits in a chaotic life. Simplify. Focus. Eliminate. Hold yourself accountable. Keep promises to yourself. You don't need others to watch you. You need to know that you're showing up for yourself. Self-respect grows every time you follow through on your word. And when you slip, and you will get back on track immediately. Don't wait for a new week. Don't punish yourself. Just return to the habit. That's how you stay consistent. Track your habits. Measure your effort. Reflect on your progress. This keeps your growth visible and your mind focused. When you see the days add up, when you see your effort on paper, it fuels your commitment. It proves to you that progress is real, even when it feels slow. Numbers don't lie. Effort compounds. Track it. You don't need to have a perfect day to be consistent. Consistency isn't about doing everything. It's about doing something. Even on your hardest days, do the minimum. Just don't break the chain. One small win keeps the momentum alive. One action done with discipline beats 100 intentions with no follow-through. As you build habits, expect discomfort. Expect resistance. Expect doubt. These things aren't signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're growing. Growth never feels easy. It feels unfamiliar. It feels uncertain. But that discomfort is proof that you're moving in the right direction. Lean into it. Use it. Let it sharpen you. You're not building habits for today. You're building them for the version of you that will exist 5 years from now. That version of you is counting on you to stay consistent today. Build habits that serve your future, not just your current mood. Short-term pleasure won't build a long-term life. Discipline will. Effort will. Repetition will. As you stay on the path, you'll notice something powerful. You'll begin to feel stronger, not just physically or mentally, but internally. You'll begin to trust yourself more. You'll carry yourself with more confidence. You'll stop looking for outside validation. You'll know that you're doing the work. You'll know that your habits are aligning with your values. That creates an internal peace. No one can give you, and no one can take away. Strong habits are not about control. They're about freedom. When you train yourself to live with discipline, you gain the freedom to live with intention. You're no longer reactive. You're proactive. You're no longer chasing change. You're creating it. And it all starts with the habits you repeat daily. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Start building. One habit at a time. One day at a time. With clarity. With discipline. Your future depends on it. And no one else can build it for you. That responsibility is yours. Own it fully. Chapter 3. Protect your time like your life depends on it. Time is the most valuable thing you have, and yet it's the easiest to waste. You can't get more of it, you can't rewind it, and you don't get a second chance once it's gone. Every day, people give away their time without thinking. They say yes to things they don't need to do, they scroll endlessly without purpose, and they delay the things that truly matter. It happens quietly, and before they know it, days turn into months, and nothing has changed. Protecting your time isn't optional. It's essential if you want to live with meaning, clarity, and direction. You don't have to be busy to be productive. Many people fill their days with activity, but make no real progress. They mistake motion for achievement. The goal isn't to do more, it's to do what matters. Time must be guarded with focus and intention. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. People, notifications, distractions, and noise are always ready to steal it. You must learn to say no, not because you're rude, but because your time matters more than someone else's agenda. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that could move your life forward. The cost isn't always obvious, but it adds up. That project you keep postponing, that habit you never start, that goal you keep pushing to next month, all of it gets buried under the weight of distractions and obligations. To make space for growth, you must clear away what doesn't serve your purpose. That starts with ruthless clarity about where your time is going and what you're allowing into your schedule. The people who get the most out of life don't have more hours than anyone else. They just protect theirs with intensity. They treat each hour like it matters, because it does. They don't allow just anyone to pull them into conversations that don't matter. They don't spend hours lost in meaningless routines. They organize their day around their priorities, not their emotions. That discipline is what creates progress. If you want your life to change, your use of time must change first. Start by getting honest with yourself. Track how you spend your day for 1 week. Don't guess, write it down. Look at where your hours go. You'll likely see how much time gets consumed by things that bring no growth, no return, and no meaning. When you face that truth, without excuses, you give yourself the power to make real change. You stop lying to yourself about being too busy, and start taking responsibility for how you spend every moment. You don't need more time, you need better priorities. When you know what matters, decisions become easier. You stop filling your schedule with meaningless things. You stop trying to please everyone. You stop seeking distraction when the work feels hard. You begin to align your actions with your purpose. This is where confidence begins to grow. You're not just going through the motions anymore. You're moving with direction. Learn to respect your time by creating clear boundaries. That means setting limits on when and how people can access you. It means turning off your phone when you need to focus. It means removing the apps, websites, and habits that quietly drain your attention. You don't owe anyone constant access to you. You don't have to be available every minute. You have the right to protect your peace and guard your energy, especially when you're building something meaningful. Make your calendar a reflection of your values. If something isn't important enough to schedule, it's not important enough to happen. Block out time for what truly matters: your health, your goals, your growth, your solitude. Don't leave those things to chance. Structure gives you freedom. When you know what your day looks like, you reduce decision fatigue. You lower stress. You stop reacting to your day and start leading it. Be careful who you give your time to. Not everyone deserves it. Some people drain your energy, fill your head with doubt, or distract you from your purpose. You are not responsible for carrying everyone else's problems. You are responsible for your life, your growth, and your peace. You don't have to explain yourself when you protect your time. You just have to mean it. You're not selfish for saying no. You're disciplined. You're focused. You're serious about your future. Use your mornings wisely. The start of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Don't give your best energy to distractions. Don't wake up and scroll. Don't hand your mind to chaos before you've grounded yourself in clarity. Build a morning routine that reinforces focus and discipline. Even if it's simple, make it yours. Create space for stillness, for movement, for reflection. Give yourself time to align before the world demands your attention. Protect your time by mastering your decisions. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every invitation needs a response. Say yes with purpose. Say no without guilt. Your time is not an unlimited resource. Every decision either aligns with your vision or pulls you off course. Choose wisely. Live with intention. Be willing to disappoint others, if it means staying true to yourself. The people who get things done are not superhuman. They've just learned to stop negotiating with distractions. They plan ahead. They create structure. They follow through when they say they will. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. When you protect your time with discipline, you create space for mastery. You're not racing the clock. You're using it to your advantage. Keep your focus sharp by building routines around your most important work. If you know you do your best thinking in the morning, block that time for deep focus. If you work better with silence, create a space that supports that. Don't force yourself into environments that constantly break your attention. Create a daily rhythm that honors your mental energy, not one that drains it. Remember that not every minute needs to be filled. Rest is not a waste of time, it's a strategy. You cannot give your best if you're always depleted. Build time into your day to reset. Reflect, breathe, step back and evaluate. Busyness is not a badge of honor. If you're always rushing, always overwhelmed, something needs to change. You are more effective when you are present, clear and grounded. That only happens when you protect space to recover. Don't mistake activity for progress. Doing more doesn't mean you're doing better. Often the most impactful people are not the busiest. They're the most intentional. They focus on fewer things with greater intensity. They simplify their commitments. They put energy into the actions that matter most. That's not laziness. It's wisdom. You don't rise by chasing everything. You rise by focusing on what truly builds you. If your life feels out of control, start with your time. Clean up your schedule. Remove the unnecessary. Tighten your focus. Stop giving energy to things that don't move you forward. It won't feel easy at first. You'll feel resistance. You'll be tempted to fall back into comfort. But the more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes. The more you protect your time, the more power you gain over your life. You won't always feel motivated to stay on track. That's where discipline steps in. You don't need to feel like protecting your time. You need to decide to do it anyway. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, especially when it's uncomfortable. That kind of consistency doesn't just build habits, it builds identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You become someone who commits. Every day is an opportunity to take control of your time. That means starting the night before. Plan tomorrow with intention. Know what matters most and protect it. Don't wake up guessing. Don't waste the first hour of your day figuring things out. Be clear. Be ready. Preparation is the foundation of control. The more prepared you are, the less time you waste on unimportant decisions. The ability to focus for extended periods is a rare skill. It's not something you're born with, it's something you train. Start by removing the easy temptations. Keep your phone out of reach. Turn off the tabs. Block out noise. Set a timer and work without interruption. The more you do it, the stronger your focus becomes. And the stronger your focus becomes, the more powerful your results. Time is your most honest mirror. It reflects your values, your priorities, and your character. You can say you care about your goals, but how you spend your time will tell the truth. You can tell yourself you're trying, but your calendar shows what you really commit to. Stop lying to yourself about being overwhelmed when you haven't taken control of your time. Own it fully. Change starts with truth. Focus isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. You don't need to move fast. You need to move with direction. Every block of time you protect adds to your progress. Every distraction you remove brings you closer to your goals. Protecting your time is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision, a constant effort. But it gets easier. It becomes your standard. And once it becomes who you are, everything else becomes easier too. Your ability to grow, improve, and transform your life will always be connected to your ability to protect your time. Without time, you can't focus. Without focus, you can't grow. And without growth, you stay stuck in the same place. You were not made to stay stuck. You were made to move forward. That requires fierce protection of your time, not for the sake of being busy, but for the sake of becoming who you are meant to be. The moment you begin treating your time like your life depends on it is the moment your life begins to change. Because in a very real way, it does depend on it. Time shapes your future. Time builds your habits. Time gives form to your purpose. If you give it away carelessly, you trade your potential for temporary comfort. But if you guard it with focus and clarity, you create a life that reflects discipline, meaning, and strength. This is your reminder that you are the only one who can protect your time. No one else will do it for you. The world will continue to demand more. The noise will never stop. But your time is yours. Claim it. Respect it. Use it. Because once it's gone forever. Chapter 4. Eliminate distractions that weaken your inner power. Distractions are not just small annoyances or interruptions, they are threats to your potential. They chip away at your ability to think clearly, act decisively, and build something meaningful. Every time you allow a distraction to pull you away from what matters, you're not just wasting a few minutes, you're weakening the very power that drives your growth. When you live in a world that's designed to steal your attention, eliminating distractions becomes more than a personal choice. It becomes a necessary act of self-preservation. You don't realize how much strength you lose every day by allowing your attention to scatter. It happens in the background, silently. One moment you're focused, the next you're pulled into a conversation that has nothing to do with your values. One second you're working on your goals, the next you're scrolling through someone else's life. And after hours of being drained by things that don't matter, you feel tired, frustrated, and out of sync with yourself. That's not a lack of motivation. That's the cost of distraction. If you want to be strong from within, you have to train your mind to stay in the present. Your inner power is built when you are in control of your thoughts, emotions, and energy. Distractions weaken that control. They create mental clutter. They break your rhythm. They turn your days into a series of unfinished tasks and incomplete moments. You end up moving through life reactively instead of with purpose. Take a hard look at what steals your attention daily. It might be your phone. It might be people who constantly bring drama into your space. It might be environments filled with noise and chaos. It could even be your own habits, constantly checking notifications, jumping from one task to another, chasing comfort when things get difficult. These aren't just harmless behaviors, they are the slow erosion of your focus, discipline and peace of mind. The world is full of distractions that are engineered to feel urgent. They're loud, flashy and tempting. They're designed to keep you comfortable, entertained and disconnected from your purpose. But the truth is, comfort rarely leads to growth. If you want to access your highest potential, you have to reject the things that pull you away from yourself. That means cutting off noise before it becomes normal. That means being aware of what you allow into your space, into your mind, into your habits. You are not weak because you get distracted. You're human, but staying distracted is a choice. And every day you delay that choice, you make it harder to build the life you say you want. Distraction becomes a habit. It starts as something small, a quick check of your phone, a casual scroll, a pointless conversation, but over time, it builds a lifestyle where you're always running from one thing to another, never really doing the deep work that brings change. Strength starts when you decide to get serious. When you no longer tolerate the little things that steal your mental clarity. When you begin to choose silence over noise, focus over entertainment, discipline over escape. That's when you start to build real power, not the kind that shows off, but the kind that holds firm when life gets hard. That kind of power is quiet, but unshakable. You have to set standards for what you allow in your mind. You can't let just anything enter and stay. Your inner world becomes shaped by what you consume, the conversations you engage in, the content you watch, the ideas you entertain. All of these are shaping you. If you want strength, choose input that challenges you, grows you, and lifts you up. Stop filling your mind with shallow things that leave you empty. Your time is too important to waste on low-value distractions. Your attention is too sacred to give to things that serve no purpose. When you say yes to every notification, every call, every craving, you become a slave to everything outside of you. And the more you live on the surface, the less connected you are to what truly drives your life forward. To eliminate distractions, you have to be brave enough to be unavailable to the things that don't build you. This requires boundaries, not just physical, but mental boundaries. You have to decide when you'll engage and when you'll disconnect. You have to protect certain hours of your day, like your future depends on them, because it does. Whether it's the first hour of the morning, a focused work session, or your evening wind down, create space that is sacred and undisturbed. Guard it fiercely. Distractions often disguise themselves as responsibilities. You might feel like you're being productive, but in reality, you're just being busy. Jumping from task to task without intention is not progress. It's a form of avoidance. You're staying in motion to avoid facing the real work that demands your full presence. If you find yourself constantly multitasking, always checking in but never finishing anything, that's a signal that distraction has taken root. Cutting distractions isn't just about what you remove, it's also about what you replace. If you remove your phone but leave a void, your mind will reach for the next easy escape. You have to fill that space with meaningful routines. Journaling, planning, reading, thinking deeply, these are habits that sharpen your awareness and give your focus a place to land. You don't just stop distractions, you outgrow them. There's a deeper reason why many people stay distracted. It's easier than facing yourself. When you sit in silence, without a screen, without noise, without stimulation, your thoughts rise to the surface. You're confronted with what you've been avoiding, your fears, your regrets, your dissatisfaction. That discomfort is where transformation begins. But most people avoid it, and they use distraction as the escape. If you want to strengthen your inner world, you have to face that silence and learn to sit with it. Strength grows in stillness. When you eliminate distractions, you create space for clarity. You begin to hear your own voice again, not the voice of the crowd, not the expectations of others, but your voice. You start making decisions that come from a place of conviction, not pressure. You get in touch with what truly matters to you. You stop following trends and start following your truth. There's nothing passive about eliminating distractions. It takes courage to disconnect. It takes strength to step away from what everyone else is doing. It takes focus to sit with one task until it's done. But those who build this ability are the ones who rise. They're the ones who finish what they start. They're the ones who don't live scattered, but grounded. Start by clearing your physical space. A cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. Clean your room, organize your desk, remove visual noise. Then clear your digital space, delete the apps you don't need, mute the notifications that don't matter. Unsubscribe from content that adds no value. Your outer world should reflect the clarity you want in your inner world. Then go deeper. Identify the patterns that keep pulling you off track. Are you using distractions to avoid responsibility? Are you choosing comfort because the work feels too big? Are you looking for constant stimulation because you're afraid of boredom? When you understand the deeper reasons behind your distractions, you take back the power to change them. Discipline is built one decision at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. Every time you notice yourself getting pulled away, bring yourself back. The more you practice, the easier it gets. You train your mind like a muscle. The more you resist distraction, the stronger your focus becomes. Don't expect other people to respect your focus if you don't. If you're constantly interrupting yourself, checking in, getting sidetracked, you're teaching your brain that distraction is acceptable. Raise your standards. Give your best to what matters most. Treat your attention like something sacred, not something to be given away for free. You'll start to notice the difference almost immediately. When you eliminate distractions, you gain more time. You gain clarity. You get your energy back. You think more clearly. You work more deeply. You sleep more peacefully. You stop feeling like you're always behind. You become present, engaged, and aligned. That's when your power returns. Every day you have a choice to live with intention or to drift through distractions. Your focus shapes your reality. If you allow your attention to be scattered, your life will follow. But if you take control, if you sharpen your awareness, if you eliminate what weakens you, you build a life of clarity, strength, and discipline. Don't wait until everything falls apart to take back your mind. Don't wait until you feel lost to seek clarity. Start now. Remove the noise. Simplify your world. Listen to your inner voice. Build an environment that supports your focus. Choose actions that build your strength. Protect your attention like it's your lifeline. Because it is. The more you eliminate distractions, the more you become connected to your core. You stop living on autopilot. You stop being pulled by random forces. You start leading yourself with intention and confidence. That's when your mind becomes your ally, not your enemy. That's when your thoughts align with your goals. That's when your life begins to transform, not in sudden bursts, but in steady daily progress. True power is quiet. It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't chase approval. It doesn't seek constant stimulation. It stays grounded. It stays focused. It stays disciplined. That kind of strength can't be built if you're constantly distracted. Eliminate what weakens you, and you'll discover how strong you already are. Chapter 5. Focus deeply on what truly matters every day. Focusing on what truly matters is not just a good idea, it's a necessity if you want to live with clarity, direction, and purpose. Every single day, you are given a limited amount of time, energy, and mental space. If you spend it on things that don't align with your core values or goals, you will end each day feeling unfulfilled, scattered, and out of sync with yourself. But when you begin to focus deeply on what actually moves your life forward, you begin to build a sense of inner order. Life doesn't become easier, but it becomes clearer. The noise fades, and the important things rise to the surface. Every day you wake up is another chance to choose what deserves your attention. But the truth is, most people never stop long enough to ask that question. They move through their days reacting to whatever shows up: messages, emails, notifications, problems, conversations. They follow urgency, not importance. They confuse busyness with progress. As a result, their minds are constantly overwhelmed, but their souls remain untouched. They are doing more but becoming less. That's what happens when you focus on everything and nothing at the same time. If you want to create a life that's meaningful, you need to first define what matters to you. That clarity does not come from the outside. No one can tell you what your priorities should be. It must come from within. It must come from honest reflection and self-awareness. You have to ask yourself hard questions and be willing to answer them without filters. What kind of life do you want to build? Who do you want to become? What kind of work truly fulfills you? What relationships make you better? What values do you want to protect? These questions are not just philosophical, they are practical. Your answers become your compass. Once you know what matters, your real job is to give it your full attention, not just occasionally, not just when it's convenient, but daily, consistently, even when it's hard. That's the key to transformation. What you focus on grows. If you focus on distractions, your distractions grow. If you focus on fears, your fears grow. But if you focus on your goals, your discipline, your growth, and your responsibilities, those things begin to take shape. Your reality is shaped by what you decide to give energy to. But deep focus doesn't happen by accident. It requires structure. It requires boundaries. It requires a mindset of discipline. You have to be intentional about protecting your focus like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. It determines whether your actions are aligned or scattered, whether you end the day fulfilled or drained, whether your life moves forward or stays stuck. The first step to focusing deeply is to remove everything that competes with your attention. It's not enough to say you want to focus. You have to create an environment where focus is possible. This means turning off your phone, closing unnecessary tabs, and choosing a space that supports concentration. It also means saying no to things that pull you in different directions. You can't focus deeply if your schedule is filled with things that don't align with your priorities. Every yes is a no to something else. If you keep saying yes to what doesn't matter, you will never have the energy or time for what does. Focusing on what matters also means mastering the ability to go deep, not wide. You don't need to do more things. You need to do fewer things better. Our culture glorifies multitasking and constant stimulation, but true excellence comes from the ability to give something your undivided attention. Whether it's writing, building a business, training your body, or having a real conversation, depth wins. It's in the depth where mastery is built. It's in the depth where insight happens, and it's in the depth where growth becomes real. But to go deep, you must train your mind to stay with the task at hand. This is not something that comes naturally anymore. With so much distraction built into daily life, most people have lost the ability to sit with one thing long enough to see it through. That's why you must train your focus like a muscle. Start small, commit to one block of time every day where you give full attention to something meaningful. No interruptions, no checking, no switching, just full presence. Over time you'll notice that your mind starts to calm, your work becomes more powerful, and your confidence grows. One of the best ways to stay deeply focused on what matters is to create a simple system that reminds you of your priorities. Write down the top 3 things that matter to you each day. Keep them visible. When your mind starts to wander, bring it back to those 3. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing what actually matters. And that takes daily intention. You also need to remove the need for constant results. Deep focus is not about instant gratification. Sometimes the most important work takes weeks or months to show visible progress. You might be laying bricks without seeing the wall, but that doesn't mean the wall isn't being built. Trust the process. Stay focused even when it feels slow. The breakthroughs come to those who stay with the work longer than the rest. Another part of focusing on what matters is protecting your energy. Not everything that asks for your attention deserves your energy. Learn to recognize emotional traps, conversations that drain you, arguments that serve no purpose, guilt trips, unnecessary obligations. Your focus should be given to people and activities that nourish you, stretch you, and support your goals. That doesn't mean you cut everyone off. It means you become selective. You give your best to what builds you. There's a quiet power that comes from someone who knows what matters and focuses on it every single day. That person doesn't need to chase everything. They don't need to be everywhere. They don't seek validation from outside sources. They are grounded in their path. They have direction. They know what they're building, and they're willing to do the boring, unglamorous work it takes to build it. You have to get comfortable with missing out on what doesn't serve you. You will not be able to do what everyone else is doing if you want to live with purpose. You will have to say no more often. You will have to be misunderstood sometimes. You will have to step away from the noise to protect your focus. That's not selfish. That's how you stay true to yourself. You will also have days where your focus slips. That's normal. What matters is that you return to it. You don't let one distracted day turn into a distracted week. You get back on track, recommit and realign. Focus is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about choosing again and again to stay connected to what matters, even when the world around you is pulling you away. Focusing deeply also requires inner clarity. You have to confront your own excuses, your own doubts, your own fears. Sometimes we distract ourselves because we're afraid of what will happen if we fully commit. We fear failure. We fear judgment. We fear the pressure that comes with taking ourselves seriously. But if you want to grow, you have to move through that fear. You have to trust that who you're becoming is worth the risk. The more you practice daily focus, the more your life begins to feel meaningful. You stop chasing shallow goals. You stop comparing your journey to others. You wake up with direction, not confusion. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to respect your time. You begin to feel proud of the way you live. Every day is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can be consistent, intentional, and focused. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be deliberate. If you give the first hour of your day to something meaningful, that 1 hour can change everything. It sets the tone. It reminds you of what matters. It builds momentum. If you start your day with distractions, You hand your power away before the day even begins. But if you start with clarity, the rest of your day falls in line. Your future will be shaped by the small decisions you make every day. Will you give in to the pull of distraction, or will you stay focused on what builds you? Will you waste energy on things that drain you, or will you give your best to what fuels your purpose? That's the choice you face daily, and the more you choose wisely, the stronger and more fulfilled you become. Living with focus doesn't mean you live without joy. In fact, it's the opposite. When you focus on what truly matters, you experience deeper joy, because your actions align with your values. You're not spread thin. You're not exhausted by chasing everything. You're not burdened by regret. You feel alive, present, and connected to your life. This kind of life is possible, but it requires commitment, not to perfection but to progress, not to speed but to depth. You must choose every day to focus on what matters most, and that choice will shape the person you become. You have what it takes to build a focused life. Not later. Now. Every moment is a chance to choose. Every action is a vote for the life you want. Start now, stay with it, and don't look back. Chapter 6. Train your mind to stay calm under pressure. Pressure is a part of life. No matter how disciplined you are or how much you prepare, moments will come that test your limits. There will be unexpected changes, stressful deadlines, personal challenges, and difficult conversations. These are the moments when most people lose control. They react out of fear, frustration, or panic. They let their emotions take over, and as a result, they make decisions they later regret. But the truth is, pressure doesn't break people. Poor mental preparation does. What truly makes a difference is your ability to remain calm and centered when everything around you feels chaotic. A calm mind is a powerful mind. It doesn't mean you ignore the reality of stress or pretend like you don't feel anything. It means you learn how to respond with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. You learn how to breathe through the noise, how to create stillness in the storm, and how to stay grounded no matter how high the stakes are. This is not something you're born with. It's something you train. Just like physical strength, mental calmness is built through consistent daily practice. Staying calm under pressure begins with how you talk to yourself in challenging situations. The thoughts that run through your mind shape the way you feel and act. If you immediately go into panic mode, telling yourself that you're not ready, that you're going to fail, or that you can't handle this, then your body will follow that direction. Your heart will race, your breath will shorten, and your clarity will disappear. But if you teach your mind to speak with composure, to slow down the inner chaos, to say, "I can handle this," you'll start building the capacity to remain steady, even when things around you are not. One of the most effective tools for mental training is your breath. It's with you all the time, and it directly connects your body and mind. When pressure hits, your breathing often becomes shallow and fast. That's your nervous system reacting to what it perceives as a threat. But if you become aware of this and choose to slow your breathing down, everything changes. Your heart rate begins to drop, your thinking clears up, and your emotions settle. Practice this every day, not just when you're under pressure. Sit quietly, breathe in slowly for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, then exhale for 4. Do it consistently until it becomes your go-to response in stressful moments. Mental calm also comes from perspective. Pressure feels overwhelming when you give it more power than it deserves. But most pressure is not as big as it feels. A deadline is not a disaster. A tough conversation is not the end of the world. A failure does not mean you're a failure. When you zoom out, you start to realize that most things that cause panic are temporary. They are moments, not life sentences. Learning how to step back and see things in context helps your brain stop spiraling and start problem solving. Training your mind to stay calm also means knowing your triggers. Everyone has specific situations or environments that activate stress. Maybe it's public speaking, tight schedules, high expectations, or criticism. You need to know what flips your mental switch and prepare for it ahead of time. Write them down, acknowledge them, and then create strategies for dealing with them before they happen. This gives you a sense of control instead of being surprised or overwhelmed every time. Another powerful way to stay calm under pressure is to trust your preparation. Pressure becomes more intense when you doubt yourself. But if you've been showing up consistently, if you've been putting in the work, if you've been learning and growing daily, then pressure is just an opportunity to apply what you've trained for. You don't need to perform, you just need to show up as the person you've been building. Confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from evidence. Build the evidence, then trust it. Your environment also plays a massive role in your mental state. If you're constantly surrounded by noise, chaos, or negativity, your brain never gets the space to relax and reset. Protect your space. Create pockets of silence during your day. Limit your exposure to drama, complaining, or unnecessary conflict. Your surroundings should support your calmness, not sabotage it. A calm environment leads to a calm inner world. Staying calm doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you stay in control of them. It's okay to feel nervous, frustrated, or uncertain. What matters is what you do next. Do you let those feelings drive your behavior, or do you pause, acknowledge them, and then respond with purpose? This kind of emotional discipline takes time to develop, but it's what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who thrive in it. One of the most overlooked parts of calmness is taking care of your physical health. When your body is under stress, sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, your mind is more reactive. You don't think clearly, you lose patience faster, you make impulsive decisions. But when your body is rested, nourished, and strong, your mental resilience improves automatically. Your nervous system is calmer, your mind is sharper. Taking care of your body is not just about fitness, it's about mental control. Another way to build calm under pressure is to run toward discomfort in your daily life. Don't wait for pressure to come to you. Put yourself in situations that challenge you regularly. Wake up early. Push your physical limits. Speak when it's uncomfortable. Do things that scare you in small doses. Every time you do, you're telling your brain that pressure is not the enemy. It's training. It's growth. It's the path to strength. The more you face controlled pressure, the more your mind becomes immune to panic in real pressure. You also need to learn how to ground yourself in reality when your mind starts spinning. Under pressure, your thoughts can become irrational. You start imagining the worst-case scenarios. You create stories that aren't even real. When that happens, stop and ask yourself, what do I know for sure right now? Bring yourself back to facts, not assumptions, not fears, just reality. Grounding yourself in the present moment keeps your mind from spiraling into a place that doesn't help you. When you're in high-pressure moments, remember that you don't need to fix everything immediately. Calmness is not about rushing to solve, it's about pausing long enough to think clearly. Take things one step at a time. Break big problems into small actions. Focus on what you can control. When you shrink the problem down into pieces, it becomes manageable. And when it's manageable, your brain no longer sees it as overwhelming. Another key to staying calm is mastering the art of internal stillness. This is the ability to remain inwardly steady, even when the external world is loud. It's built through quiet practices like journaling, mindfulness and solitude. Spending time alone with your thoughts trains you to befriend your mind instead of running from it. It teaches you how to observe your thoughts instead of being ruled by them. Stillness is not weakness, it's the highest form of strength. It means you're not reactive, you're not impulsive, and you're not driven by fear. You must also understand that staying calm under pressure makes you a leader, whether you realize it or not. People are drawn to those who remain composed. In moments of stress, calmness becomes a rare and respected quality. It builds trust. It sets the tone for everyone around you. If you can stay calm, others will begin to steady themselves by your energy. You don't need to say much. Just your presence, your stillness, your steady actions. It speaks louder than words ever could. Mental calm is also supported by clarity. If you don't know what your priorities are, everything will feel urgent. But when you know what truly matters, pressure becomes a filter. It forces you to focus on essentials. It sharpens your decisions. It reminds you of your values. You realize that not every battle is worth your energy. Some things can be solved without your emotional involvement. Some things are just noise. Pressure helps reveal what's real if you're willing to slow down and listen. One of the biggest myths is that people who stay calm don't feel stress. They do. They just know how to work through it without being consumed by it. They've built rituals and mindsets that keep them centered. They've accepted that pressure is part of growth. They know that avoiding pressure is not the answer, rising above it is. To stay calm under pressure, you need to make this a daily practice, not a reaction. Don't wait until your life feels like it's falling apart to start building your mental resilience. Do it now. Train yourself through small challenges. Observe your reactions. Practice slowing down. Reflect on how you show up when things get hard. Catch yourself before you spiral. Redirect your focus. Choose your responses instead of letting emotions take control. Every time you do, you're strengthening your inner foundation. This path is not easy, but it's powerful. Imagine being the person who can face hard moments with steady eyes and a clear mind. Imagine having the strength to respond with wisdom when others are losing control. Imagine carrying peace within you, no matter the chaos around you. That's not a fantasy. That's a skill, and it's one you can start building today. You already have what it takes to be calm under pressure. It's inside you, but you must choose to train it, protect it, and rely on it. The world doesn't need more people who react out of fear. It needs more people who think clearly, act wisely, and move with inner control. You can be one of them. It starts with a decision. Train your mind, protect your peace, and show up with calm strength every single day. That's how you take ownership of your inner power, no matter what pressure comes your way. Chapter 7. Speak to yourself with clarity and self-respect. The way you speak to yourself shapes every decision you make. It sets the tone for your self-worth, your confidence, and the way you carry yourself through life. If your inner voice is full of judgment, doubt, and negativity, it will eat away at your discipline, your peace, and your belief in your own potential. On the other hand, if your inner voice is built on clarity and self-respect, it becomes a weapon of strength and truth. It becomes your guide, your protector, and your greatest source of motivation when things get hard. Most people walk through life with an inner dialogue they never chose. It's been shaped by years of criticism, past mistakes, pressure from others, and the fear of not being enough. Without realizing it, they've allowed their mind to become a hostile environment. Instead of being a place of focus and encouragement, their thoughts are filled with self-blame and hesitation. They replay failures. They obsess over weaknesses. They speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love. And this internal chaos becomes their default setting. You cannot live a focused and disciplined life while allowing that kind of voice to dominate your thinking. It drains your energy, it clouds your clarity, and it keeps you stuck in cycles of insecurity. To grow, to improve, to truly respect yourself, you need to become brutally honest about how you speak to yourself. Not once in a while, but every single day. Your internal dialogue is either building your future or breaking it apart piece by piece. Speaking to yourself with clarity starts by removing the fog of confusion and distraction. Clarity isn't just about knowing what you want, it's about knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you talk to yourself, are you reinforcing your values? Are you reminding yourself of the direction you've chosen? Or are you feeding yourself fear and doubt? You need to make your mind a place where your identity is solid, not shaky. You should be able to speak the truth to yourself without hesitation. I know what matters to me. I know what I'm working toward. I know what I will not tolerate from myself. When you speak to yourself with clarity, you stop letting every thought take up space. Not every feeling deserves your attention. Not every emotion is worth entertaining. You start separating noise from truth. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's real. You begin to challenge the thoughts that try to pull you back into old habits. You speak clearly. This isn't who I am anymore. I don't respond that way now. I've chosen a higher path, and I'm staying with it. Self-respect means you don't tear yourself down when you make mistakes. It means you hold yourself accountable, but you do it with the intent to grow, not punish. When you mess up, your voice should say, "That wasn't good enough," but you're not giving up. You're going to learn, correct it, and keep moving forward. That's how you speak to yourself when you actually respect your own journey. It's not soft. It's not about ignoring flaws. It's about being fair, honest, and constructive with the person you are becoming. A strong inner voice doesn't wait for the world to validate it. It's rooted in self-awareness and daily discipline. It says, "You've done the work. You know your path. You've faced worse than this. Keep going." That kind of voice doesn't come naturally to most people, but it can be built through repetition. Start noticing the way you talk to yourself during difficult moments. Catch the sarcasm. Catch the criticism. Replace it with clarity. Talk to yourself like someone whose progress matters. Because it does. The reason this is so important is because you are with yourself all the time. There is no escape from your own thoughts. If you let them become toxic, you live in a constant state of stress, insecurity, and confusion. But if you learn to make your mind a place of clarity and strength, then no matter what happens around you, you can stay centered. You can guide yourself through hard seasons without needing external motivation. Your voice becomes the anchor when everything else feels unstable. Self-respect also means setting boundaries with your own behavior. If you keep allowing yourself to make excuses, to slack off, or to run from discomfort, then your inner voice becomes diluted. You can't speak to yourself with conviction if you're constantly breaking your own standards. Real self-respect comes from alignment, saying what you mean, doing what you say, and showing up even when it's inconvenient. When your actions match your words, your voice gains power. You can look in the mirror and believe what you're telling yourself. It's not just about affirmations or positivity. This is about truth. Real internal clarity comes from speaking truth to yourself even when it's hard. If you've been lazy, say it. If you've been distracted, admit it. If you've been lying to yourself, call it out. But don't stop there. After the truth comes the redirection. You remind yourself of who you are becoming. You commit to the next step. You make decisions based on discipline, not emotion. You don't let self-awareness turn into self-pity. You turn it into fuel for improvement. The tone you use with yourself matters. You can be firm without being abusive. You can be honest without being cruel. Speak to yourself like someone who's fighting for your growth, not someone who's tearing it down. Respect means you don't tolerate laziness from yourself, but you also don't allow shame to run your mind. You stay grounded. You correct without crushing. You demand more from yourself because you believe you are worth the effort. One of the most powerful habits you can build is checking in with your inner dialogue throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I telling myself right now? Is it helping me or hurting me? Is it making me stronger or weaker? Is it moving me forward or keeping me stuck? That awareness gives you control, and with control comes the ability to redirect your focus, your energy, and your choices. You stop being a victim of your thoughts and start becoming the leader of your life. You also need to become aware of the language you use when describing yourself to others. Stop saying things that reduce your strength. Stop making jokes about your own inconsistency, your failures, your flaws. Every time you speak those words, even casually, you reinforce them in your mind. Speak about yourself with clarity and power. I'm disciplined, I'm improving, I'm serious about my goals, not in a fake or arrogant way, but in a grounded, confident, and honest way. Writing is another tool that sharpens your inner voice. When you write about your day, your choices, and your progress, you learn how to organize your thinking. You learn how to see your patterns. You become more honest with yourself. Journaling is not just about unloading emotions, it's about sharpening your focus. It's where you challenge yourself, realign your values, and create a stronger connection with your deeper purpose. Use your journal to speak truth to yourself in written form. Over time, that written voice becomes your spoken voice, clear, firm, and rooted in self-respect. Training your mind to speak with clarity also means eliminating the mental clutter. Cut out the distractions, the opinions, and the comparisons that make your thoughts foggy. When your mind is constantly overstimulated, it's hard to hear your own voice. You start repeating what others say. You start chasing paths that don't belong to you. But when you create space to think, to reflect, and to question, your own voice gets louder. And that voice should be your guide, not the noise of the world. Make a habit of speaking to yourself in a way that raises your standards. Don't let your voice settle into average. Use it to push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of. You're tired, but you can keep going. You're nervous, but you can still take action. You're afraid, but you're going to show up anyway. That kind of voice doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline. From choosing every day to speak like the person you want to become, not the one you're trying to leave behind. When your internal voice becomes clear and respectful, your entire life changes. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining yourself. You stop getting distracted by other people's opinions. You know what you believe. You know where you're going. You know what matters. And when you get off track, you know how to bring yourself back. That's the kind of power that can't be faked. It's earned through consistent self-awareness and commitment. You don't need to wait until you feel confident to start speaking to yourself with clarity. In fact, Speaking clearly is how confidence is built. You teach yourself how to trust your own thoughts. You start believing the words you say in private. You don't rely on outside praise to stay focused. You become your own source of strength. And that kind of strength lasts because it's not dependent on anything external. It comes from within. The goal is to make your inner voice your most reliable companion. Not a critic, not a source of fear, but a steady, honest and disciplined presence in your life. A voice that reminds you of your worth, your mission, and your ability to change. A voice that speaks truth without hesitation and encourages progress without excuses. A voice that carries you through failure and keeps you humble during success. You have that voice in you already. It just needs to be trained. Each time you speak with clarity, each time you respond with self-respect, you're building it. You're shaping a mind that can guide you through any situation. You're creating an inner world that reflects the strength and discipline you're committed to living by. Don't underestimate the impact of your thoughts. They're not just background noise. They're the foundation of your entire life. Speak to yourself with intention. Speak with focus. Speak with respect. Because the way you talk to yourself becomes the way you show up for everything that matters. Chapter 8. Create a daily routine that fuels your discipline. The structure of your day is the structure of your life. What you do daily becomes what you believe about yourself, how you perform under pressure, and what kind of progress you actually make. You don't rise to the level of your ambition, you fall to the level of your routine. Discipline isn't something you wake up with on certain days and lose on others. It's something you reinforce through the choices you make hour by hour. If you're serious about becoming your best self, then you must get serious about your routine, not just as a way to stay organized, but as a tool to protect your priorities and build the consistency your goals demand. Discipline doesn't show up on its own. It's built through repetition, and repetition is impossible without a structure that holds you accountable. A solid routine is not about doing more things, it's about doing the right things at the right time, consistently. When you live without a routine, you live reactively. Your time is dictated by circumstances. Your energy is pulled in every direction. You wake up tired, rush through the day, feel scattered, and go to bed wondering what you actually accomplished. That's the slow erosion of discipline. It doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in the little choices you don't even notice you're making. Your day must have a rhythm. You need to know when you'll work, when you'll train, when you'll rest, when you'll reflect, and when you'll block out the noise. Without that rhythm, you're leaving your focus up to chance. And chance is not reliable. A routine removes the need for constant decision-making. It reduces hesitation. It removes the temptation to negotiate with yourself every hour. Should I work out now or later? Should I focus or scroll for a while? Should I get started or wait until I feel more ready? A routine ends that internal debate. It becomes your default system, so your discipline doesn't depend on how you feel, it depends on what you've committed to. Building a powerful routine begins with identifying your non-negotiables. These are the few essential actions that strengthen you mentally, physically, and emotionally. They are not optional. They are not dependent on motivation. They are daily responsibilities you accept as part of your identity. Maybe it's a morning workout, a writing session, a daily walk, time spent reading, planning your priorities, or ending the day with reflection. These actions build the momentum you need to feel aligned, focused, and in control. Without them, you drift. With them, you lead yourself forward with purpose. You don't need to fill every hour of your day to be disciplined. You just need to stop wasting the hours that matter most. The first hour of your morning and the last hour before bed are sacred. How you begin and end the day creates the tone of everything in between. If you start with distraction, chaos, or mindless scrolling, you set yourself up for a scattered day. But if you start with intention, movement, and clarity, you give yourself a mental edge that will carry you through obstacles and stress. The same goes for how you end the day. If you close your night with reflection and preparation, you sleep better, recover more deeply, and enter tomorrow with a sharper mind. A strong routine doesn't make your life boring. It frees up your mental space to be more present, more creative, and more resilient. Most people don't realize how much time and energy they lose just trying to decide what to do next. They live in a state of constant mental friction. Should I do this now or later? Should I focus or take a break? Should I work on this project or that one? That internal tug-of-war drains you before you even start. A routine eliminates that drain. You already know what comes next. You've already made the decision. All that's left is to follow through. Following through is where discipline is forged. Every time you complete a task you scheduled, even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen the trust you have in yourself. That self-trust is everything. Without it, you rely on external motivation, on pressure, on people pushing you. With it, you become self-directed. You know how to show up even when no one is watching. You become reliable in your own eyes. And once you see yourself as someone who finishes what they start, who honors their own plan, it becomes easier to keep going. Your routine doesn't have to be rigid, but it must be consistent. Life is unpredictable. Things will come up. But if your routine is built on clear principles, it will be flexible without falling apart. You'll know how to adapt without losing momentum. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about not breaking the chain. If something interrupts your routine, you don't abandon it, you adjust and return to it quickly. That bounce-back ability is what separates people who stay committed from those who crumble when their schedule gets tested. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they'll create a routine when they feel more motivated. That mindset keeps them stuck in inconsistency. Motivation comes and goes. It's a wave, but your routine needs to be the foundation. It's what you fall back on when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're not in the mood. Discipline isn't built on good days, it's built on the hard ones. Your routine should be strong enough to hold you steady, even when you're not at your best. Start simple, don't overcomplicate it. Choose 3 to 5 core habits that you can commit to daily. Anchor them to specific times in your day. Wake up at the same time, move your body, plan your priorities. Eat with intention, reflect at night. These aren't massive changes, but done daily, they rewire your mindset. You begin to see yourself as someone who is in control of their time. That identity shift is everything. When you view yourself as a disciplined person, you make better choices automatically. You don't need to force yourself, you act in alignment with who you believe you are. A routine is also a form of self-respect. You're saying to yourself, my goals matter enough to be scheduled, my growth deserves space in my day, my health, my clarity, and my peace are priorities, not afterthoughts. Too often, people treat their personal growth as something they'll get to later, after they've handled everything else. But if you don't build your routine around your values, your day gets built around everyone else's demands. And the longer you live like that, the further you drift from who you were meant to become. Every day is a vote for the kind of life you're building. And your routine is where those votes are cast. You don't get stronger by accident. You don't become focused by chance. You get there by showing up again and again, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable. That's where true discipline lives, in the quiet hours where no one's watching, and you choose growth over ease. Technology makes it easy to fall out of routine. One notification can pull your attention away for an hour. One distraction can turn your morning upside down. That's why part of your routine must include protecting your time and energy. Turn off what you don't need. Keep your phone out of reach during deep work. Stop checking messages the moment you wake up. You don't need to respond to the world before you've even checked in with yourself. Your first commitment is to your own progress. The rest can wait. A disciplined routine also builds mental strength. It teaches you how to delay gratification, how to stay focused when things feel repetitive, and how to stay loyal to your goals even when progress feels slow. These are the traits that carry you through every challenge life throws at you. They don't come from one big effort. They come from hundreds of small wins that stack up, because your routine holds you to a higher standard. There's no perfect routine. There's only the one that works for your values, your energy, and your goals. The key is not to copy someone else's schedule, but to build your own based on your life. What matters is that it serves your purpose and strengthens your discipline. Don't build a routine to impress people. Build one to improve yourself. Make it so solid that when your motivation disappears, your discipline still shows up on time. Reflection is an important part of your routine too. Don't just move through the day mechanically. Take a few minutes to evaluate how you showed up. Did your actions align with your values? Did you stick to what you committed to? Did you waste time on things that don't matter? That awareness helps you adjust and improve. Your routine should evolve as you grow. It's not a prison, it's a platform. It lifts you toward the life you're trying to build. If you've struggled with routines in the past, don't judge yourself. Start again. You don't need a perfect record, you need consistency. Each day is a new opportunity to build momentum. Forget yesterday. Lock in on what you can control today. Set your schedule with intention. Remove the guesswork. Focus on execution. Keep promises to yourself. That's how discipline becomes who you are, not just what you try to do. Your life won't change in one dramatic moment. It will change when you start mastering your days. And that mastery begins with a routine that reflects your deepest values and highest standards. You are capable of more than you realize. But to access that potential, you need structure. You need rhythm. You need non-negotiables. Without them, your discipline will always be reactive. With them, it becomes automatic. There's no substitute for consistency, no shortcut, no hack. The routine is the secret. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it works. Every day you follow it, you get closer to the version of yourself that you're fighting to become. You stop depending on motivation. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You just show up. You do the work. You finish what you start. And in doing that, you build a life rooted in purpose, clarity, and unshakable discipline. That's how you stay focused on yourself. That's how you win the day. Every day.
Chapter 9. Track your progress to stay honest and focused. You don't improve what you don't track. Growth doesn't happen in the dark. If you're serious about becoming better, you have to get serious about knowing where you stand every single day. Progress is not a vague feeling. It's not based on how motivated you are or how hard you think you're working. Progress is measurable. It's specific. It's built on results.
The only way to stay focused on your goals is to keep your vision grounded in reality. When you track your actions, your effort, and your progress, you remove the illusions that hold you back. You stop lying to yourself. You stop guessing. You start facing the truth of who you are and how far you've come. Most people drift through life without checking in with themselves. They have goals, but they don't measure whether they're moving closer to them. They have habits, but they don't know if those habits are actually producing results. They wake up each day hoping things will get better, but they never pause long enough to reflect on what's working and what's not. That's not how transformation happens. Real growth begins when you hold yourself accountable in concrete, honest ways. Not once a year. Not when it's convenient. Every single day. Tracking your progress is not about perfection. It's about precision. It's about knowing what you've done, what you've neglected, and where you need to step up. It's about collecting evidence, not excuses. When you write down your actions, your energy, and your wins, you start to see patterns. You notice where you lose focus. You see how often you skip steps. You recognize what fuels your consistency and what destroys it. This awareness gives you power. It removes blind spots. It brings clarity to your effort. Honesty is the foundation of self-improvement. You cannot grow if you keep telling yourself comforting lies. You cannot become disciplined if you don't admit when you fall short. You cannot stay focused if you don't know how often you're getting distracted. Most people aren't stuck because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because they're not being honest about what they're doing. They say they're committed, but their actions tell a different story. They say they're consistent, but their daily habits are full of gaps. Tracking your progress forces you to face that gap and close it, one day at a time. You don't need complicated systems to track your life. You just need to be deliberate. Keep a journal. Use a habit tracker. Review your goals weekly. Write down what you did, what you avoided, and how you felt. Note what distracted you. Pay attention to your wins. The goal is to get a clearer picture of yourself, not just the version you present to others, but the real version who shows up when no one is watching. That self-awareness is where lasting change begins. The more honest you are, the more progress you can make. When you track your progress, you build momentum. You give yourself proof that your effort is not wasted. You stop relying on motivation to keep going because you can see exactly what you've done and where it's taking you. There's a power in being able to say, I've done this for 30 days straight. I've written down every workout. I've reviewed my habits every week. That kind of consistency builds confidence. It builds self-trust. You stop wondering if you're making progress because the proof is right in front of you. Staying focused is not just about setting goals, it's about checking in with them often. If you don't revisit your goals regularly, they fade into the background. You forget why they matter. You lose the urgency. You get distracted. You start reacting to life instead of building the life you want. Tracking your progress keeps your goals in sight. It reminds you what you're working for. It keeps you grounded in action. Every time you check in with your progress, you remind yourself that your growth is your responsibility. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else cares about your goals like you do. That's why you must track them with discipline and care. You don't need to track everything, but you do need to track what matters. Choose the areas of your life that are critical to your growth. Maybe it's your physical health, your focus at work, your reading habits, your time spent learning, or how often you practice discipline. Track the behaviors that directly shape your future. Track your inputs, not just the outcomes. You can't always control results, but you can control effort. You can control how often you show up, how focused you are, how committed you stay. That's what matters. That's what builds the foundation for bigger wins. People avoid tracking because they're afraid of the truth. They don't want to see how inconsistent they really are. They don't want to admit how often they skip steps or break promises to themselves. But hiding from the truth won't protect your growth. It just delays it. It keeps you stuck in a version of yourself that never fully steps into potential. The more often you face yourself honestly, the stronger you become. Weakness hides in avoidance. Strength grows in awareness. Discipline is a practice. Focus is a skill. Neither one is natural. You have to train them. You have to work them daily. And the only way to know if you're getting better is to measure your consistency. Are you practicing the habits you said you would? Are you honoring the routine you created? Are you adjusting when things stop working? These are questions you need to ask yourself every week. Tracking gives you the answers. It takes out the guesswork. It brings discipline into the light. Self-respect grows when you keep promises to yourself. But to keep promises, you have to know if you're actually following through. Tracking is the check-in. It's the mirror you hold up to your own actions. It's the system that keeps you honest when your emotions try to talk you out of the hard work. Every time you track your progress, you remind yourself that your growth is not based on feelings, it's based on effort. You're either doing the work, or you're not. And that clarity is where real progress lives. Tracking is also how you catch patterns early. Maybe you notice you've been skipping your morning routine more often. Maybe you're losing energy halfway through your work sessions. Maybe you're breaking your diet more frequently. These patterns don't fix themselves. They get worse unless you notice and correct them. A good tracking system gives you feedback. It shows you where to tighten up. It gives you the power to course correct before small slips turn into full relapses. Progress tracking also teaches you patience. You stop expecting overnight results. You start appreciating small wins. You realize that one strong week matters. One disciplined day matters. One act of focus matters. Growth becomes a process you can respect, not a fantasy you're chasing. When you track what you're doing right, you build pride in your effort. That pride becomes fuel. You start to enjoy the grind because you're no longer blind to your growth. You can see it taking shape. Staying focused is hard in a world that's built to distract you. That's why tracking is more important than ever. When you measure your focus, you start to protect it. You build a system that reinforces clarity. You don't just hope for better attention. You train it. You know when you were locked in and when you weren't. You know what pulled you away and what helped you get back on track. This data is priceless. It's what separates people who stay lost from those who stay sharp. Your future depends on the habits you're building right now. But habits don't grow without attention. You can't expect to build discipline in the dark. You need light. You need a record. You need a system that shows you what you're really doing, not what you plan to do, not what you talk about doing, what you actually do. That's where your identity is formed. That's where self-mastery is built. Every page you fill, every day you mark, every habit you log, it all becomes part of the foundation that supports your growth. You are not tracking your life to impress anyone. You're doing it to become someone you can count on. You're doing it so that when you look in the mirror, you don't see potential, you see proof. You see a person who is showing up daily, who is learning, who is refining, who is locked in on the purpose. That self-image is powerful. It pushes you through resistance. It silences doubt. It keeps you focused when life gets chaotic. Progress doesn't come from hustle alone. It comes from consistency. And consistency requires clarity.
That's why you must track. Not because you're obsessed with metrics, but because you're committed to mastering yourself. It's a practice of honesty, a commitment to excellence, a daily reminder that the only way to win in life is to hold yourself to a standard that can't be faked. You can't wait until the end of the month to find out if you were disciplined. You have to know daily. You have to stay close to your effort. You have to live with awareness. The more present you are to your own actions, the less likely you are to slip into old patterns. Every time you track, you bring yourself back into alignment. You return to your vision. You reconnect with your purpose. If you want to live a focused life, you need more than ambition. You need feedback. You need structure. You need a way to check yourself before distraction takes over. Progress doesn't happen by accident. It's built with intention. And the most powerful way to stay intentional is to track your actions, track your thoughts, track your wins, and track your mistakes. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware. You can have all the goals in the world, but if you don't measure your progress, they stay dreams. Dreams that never become reality. What turns a dream into a goal is action. What turns a goal into a result is consistency. And what supports that consistency is tracking. It's what keeps you focused. It's what keeps you honest. It's what keeps you moving, even on the hard days. If you truly want to transform your life, start measuring it. Your future self will thank you for every page you filled, every day you stayed honest, and every moment you chose discipline over distraction.
Chapter 10. Break free from habits that waste your energy. To live a life of purpose and progress, it's essential to examine your daily habits, specifically the ones that drain your energy without offering any true return. There are countless habits that many people fall into, thinking they're harmless or even necessary, but they rob us of the most precious resource we have: our energy. These habits are often subtle, creeping into our lives unnoticed, and they keep us from achieving the clarity, focus, and fulfillment we deserve. The first step in breaking free from energy-wasting habits is to recognize them. It's easy to go through life on autopilot, moving from task to task, from one distraction to the next, without truly questioning the energy we're expending. You wake up, go through your routine, check your phone, scroll through social media, maybe watch the news, check your emails, and before you know it, hours have passed with little to show for it. We tell ourselves we're busy, but when we look at what we've actually done, we realize that we've squandered our energy on things that don't move us forward. A big part of breaking free from these habits is to take control of your day from the moment you wake up. The first hours of your day are the foundation for everything that follows. The way you start your morning determines how much energy you will have for the rest of the day. If you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, allowing yourself to be flooded with external stimuli, you've already set the tone for a scattered, reactive day. Instead, try to begin your day with something intentional, something that fuels you. Whether that's a short meditation, a quick workout, or even just time spent in silence, taking charge of your first moments will help you gain control over your day. You can't control everything that happens during the day, but you can control how you respond. Yet, many people waste enormous amounts of energy reacting to things they can't change. You react to an email, a phone call, or an unexpected task, and before you know it, your emotional energy is drained. If you're constantly responding to things that don't serve your purpose, you will never be able to focus on the things that truly matter. One of the biggest culprits of wasted energy is multitasking. We've all been told that multitasking is a sign of productivity, but research shows the opposite is true. When we divide our attention across multiple tasks, we decrease our effectiveness, make more mistakes, and end up wasting more time and energy than if we had focused on just one thing at a time. If you find yourself constantly jumping from task to task, trying to do it all at once, it's time to break the habit. The next time you sit down to work, make a commitment to focus on one thing, complete it, and then move on to the next. This shift may seem small, but it can drastically improve your efficiency and conserve your mental energy. Another energy-draining habit that often goes unnoticed is the way we allow distractions to pull us away from our tasks. Whether it's checking your phone, reading an interesting article, or responding to a message, distractions seem harmless in the moment, but over time they accumulate and wear you down. The constant switching between tasks, called context switching, leaves your brain in a constant state of adjustment. Each time you switch gears, you lose precious seconds, and these seconds add up. To protect your energy, try setting boundaries with distractions. Turn off your phone notifications, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create a work environment that minimizes interruptions. We also waste energy by holding on to negative emotions and thoughts. Resentment, anger, self-doubt, these emotions are heavy. They take up mental space and drain you without giving anything back. When you allow these emotions to dominate your thinking, you're essentially carrying unnecessary weight. If you find yourself holding on to negative thoughts, it's time to let them go. This doesn't mean pretending everything is fine or suppressing your feelings. It means recognizing when those feelings are no longer serving you and choosing to release them. One way to do this is through journaling. Writing down your thoughts and emotions allows you to release them onto paper, where they can no longer control your mind. Another major energy thief is perfectionism. The need to do everything perfectly can leave you paralyzed, unable to move forward with projects or tasks. You waste time obsessing over details that don't matter, only to find that your energy is spent without real progress being made. Perfectionism creates an unattainable standard that drains your motivation and stifles creativity. To break free from this habit, you need to redefine your standards. Perfection is a moving target, and by constantly striving for it, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Accept that mistakes will happen, and that the key to success lies in learning and adjusting, not in doing everything flawlessly. A related habit is procrastination, which often arises from the fear of imperfection. When we delay action, we waste energy worrying about what could go wrong, instead of focusing on what we can control. The longer you procrastinate, the more energy you waste in the form of stress, anxiety, and guilt. Breaking free from procrastination requires a mindset shift. Instead of focusing on how difficult or overwhelming a task might seem, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on the next action, not the entire project. Taking that first step is often the hardest part, but once you get started, momentum will carry you forward, and your energy will flow into the work instead of into worry. In addition to the internal habits that drain our energy, there are external factors that can do the same. One of the most significant is the people we surround ourselves with. Relationships can be a source of energy and support, or they can be a drain. If you find yourself consistently spending time with people who are negative, critical, or unsupportive, it's time to reevaluate those relationships. Energy-draining people can sap your enthusiasm, confidence, and focus, making it harder for you to stay on track. You don't have to cut people out of your life completely, but you can choose to spend less time with those who undermine your progress and more time with those who uplift and motivate you. Another external drain is your environment. The space around you has a direct impact on your energy levels. If your workspace is cluttered, disorganized, or chaotic, it's harder to focus and your energy is scattered.
A clean, organized environment promotes clarity and productivity. Take time to declutter your physical space, create a workspace that promotes focus, and make sure your surroundings support your mental and emotional well-being. Lastly, there's the habit of constantly overcommitting. Saying yes to everything drains your energy and distracts you from your priorities. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to please everyone or avoid disappointing others, but every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you say no to your own growth. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful tools for conserving your energy and staying focused on what truly matters. Respect your time, protect your energy, and only commit to what serves your long-term vision. Breaking free from habits that waste your energy is a journey of self-awareness and self-discipline. It requires you to recognize the areas in your life where you're giving away your energy without receiving anything in return. Once you identify these energy leaks, you can begin to take action to plug them. The key is to approach this process with patience and consistency. Small incremental changes will add up over time, and before you know it, you'll be operating at a level of energy and focus that you never thought possible. Remember, your energy is your most valuable resource. Protect it, guard it, and use it wisely. By breaking free from the habits that waste your energy, you're creating space for the habits that will help you grow, achieve, and live a life that's truly aligned with your goals.
Chapter 11. Push through discomfort to grow stronger each day. To live a life of purpose and progress, it's essential to examine your daily habits, specifically the ones that drain your energy without offering any true return. There are countless habits that many people fall into, thinking they're harmless or even necessary, but they rob us of the most precious resource we have, our energy. These habits are often subtle, creeping into our lives unnoticed, and they keep us from achieving the clarity, focus, and fulfillment we deserve. The first step in breaking free from energy-wasting habits is to recognize them. It's easy to go through life on autopilot, moving from task to task, from one distraction to the next, without truly questioning the energy we're expending. You wake up, go through your routine, check your phone, scroll through social media, maybe watch the news, check your emails, and before you know it, hours have passed with little to show for it. We tell ourselves we're busy, but when we look at what we've actually done, we realize that we've squandered our energy on things that don't move us forward. A big part of breaking free from these habits is to take control of your day from the moment you wake up. The first hours of your day are the foundation for everything that follows. The way you start your morning determines how much energy you will have for the rest of the day. If you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, allowing yourself to be flooded with external stimuli, you've already set the tone for a scattered, reactive day. Instead, try to begin your day with something intentional, something that fuels you, whether that's a short meditation, a quick workout, or even just time spent in silence. Taking charge of your first moments will help you gain control over your day. You can't control everything that happens during the day, but you can control how you respond. Yet, many people waste enormous amounts of energy reacting to things they can't change. You react to an email, a phone call, or an unexpected task, and before you know it, your emotional energy is drained. If you're constantly responding to things that don't serve your purpose, you will never be able to focus on the things that truly matter. One of the biggest culprits of wasted energy is multitasking. We've all been told that multitasking is a sign of productivity, but research shows the opposite is true. When we divide our attention across multiple tasks, we decrease our effectiveness, make more mistakes, and end up wasting more time and energy than if we had focused on just one thing at a time. If you find yourself constantly jumping from task to task, trying to do it all at once. It's time to break the habit. The next time you sit down to work, make a commitment to focus on one thing, complete it, and then move on to the next. This shift may seem small, but it can drastically improve your efficiency and conserve your mental energy. Another energy-draining habit that often goes unnoticed is the way we allow distractions to pull us away from our tasks. Whether it's checking your phone, reading an interesting article, or responding to a message, distractions seem harmless in the moment, but over time they accumulate and weigh you down. The constant switching between tasks, called context switching, leaves your brain in a constant state of adjustment. Each time you switch gears, you lose precious seconds, and these seconds add up. To protect your energy, try setting boundaries with distractions. Turn off your phone notifications, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create a work environment that minimizes interruptions. We also waste energy by holding on to negative emotions and thoughts. Resentment, anger, self-doubt, these emotions are heavy. They take up mental space and drain you without giving anything back. When you allow these emotions to dominate your thinking, you're essentially carrying unnecessary weight. If you find yourself holding on to negative thoughts, it's time to let them go. This doesn't mean pretending everything is fine or suppressing your feelings. It means recognizing when those feelings are no longer serving you and choosing to release them. One way to do this is through journaling. Writing down your thoughts and emotions allows you to release them onto paper, where they can no longer control your mind. Another major energy thief is perfectionism. The need to do everything perfectly can leave you paralyzed, unable to move forward with projects or tasks. You waste time obsessing over details that don't matter, only to find that your energy is spent without real progress being made. Perfectionism creates an unattainable standard that drains your motivation and stifles creativity. To break free from this habit, you need to redefine your standards. Perfection is a moving target, and by constantly striving for it, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Accept that mistakes will happen, and that the key to success lies in learning and adjusting, not in doing everything flawlessly. A related habit is procrastination, which often arises from the fear of imperfection. When we delay action, we waste energy worrying about what could go wrong, instead of focusing on what we can control. The longer you procrastinate, the more energy you waste in the form of stress, anxiety, and guilt. Breaking free from procrastination requires a mindset shift. Instead of focusing on how difficult or overwhelming a task might seem, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on the next action, not the entire project. Taking that first step is often the hardest part, but once you get started, momentum will carry you forward, and your energy will flow into the work instead of into worry. In addition to the internal habits that drain our energy, there are external factors that can do the same. One of the most significant is the people we surround ourselves with. Relationships can be a source of energy and support, or they can be a drain. If you find yourself consistently spending time with people who are negative, critical, or unsupportive, it's time to reevaluate those relationships. Energy-draining people can sap your enthusiasm, confidence, and focus, making it harder for you to stay on track. You don't have to cut people out of your life completely, but you can choose to spend less time with those who undermine your progress and more time with those who uplift and motivate you. Another external drain is your environment. The space around you has a direct impact on your energy levels. If your workspace is cluttered, disorganized, or chaotic, it's harder to focus, and your energy is scattered. A clean, organized environment promotes clarity and productivity. Take time to declutter your physical space, create a workspace that promotes focus, and make sure your surroundings support your mental and emotional well-being. Lastly, there's the habit of constantly overcommitting.
Saying yes to everything drains your energy and distracts you from your priorities. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to please everyone or avoid disappointing others, but every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you say no to your own growth. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful tools for conserving your energy and staying focused on what truly matters. Respect your time, protect your energy, and only commit to what serves your long-term vision. Breaking free from habits that waste your energy is a journey of self-awareness and self-discipline. It requires you to recognize the areas in your life where you're giving away your energy without receiving anything in return. Once you identify these energy leaks, you can begin to take action to plug them. The key is to approach this process with patience and consistency. Small, incremental changes will add up over time, and before you know it, you'll be operating at a level of energy and focus that you never thought possible. Remember, your energy is your most valuable resource. Protect it, guard it, and use it wisely. By breaking free from the habits that waste your energy, you're creating space for the habits that will help you grow, achieve, and live a life that's truly aligned with your goals.
Chapter 12. Strengthen your mindset through daily mental workouts. To achieve lasting success and growth, it is essential to understand the power of pushing through discomfort. The world often tells us to avoid discomfort, to seek ease and comfort wherever possible, but in reality, true growth happens only when we challenge ourselves beyond what feels comfortable. The moments when you feel discomfort are the moments when you are on the edge of growth. These are the times when you're testing your limits, learning, and becoming stronger. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And once you embrace this truth, your perspective on challenges will change. Instead of avoiding discomfort, you'll start seeking it out, knowing that it's exactly what you need to reach the next level in your life. Whether it's physical, emotional, or mental discomfort, it's an opportunity for you to expand your limits and build resilience. One of the key reasons people avoid discomfort is the natural human instinct to avoid pain and seek pleasure. It's ingrained in us to stay in our comfort zones, to avoid anything that might cause us pain or inconvenience. But if you want to grow, you have to be willing to step outside of that comfort zone and embrace discomfort. When you push through discomfort, you create a new baseline for yourself. You stretch your capacity, expand your comfort zone, and develop the strength you need to overcome future obstacles. At first, pushing through discomfort can feel overwhelming. It may feel like you're fighting against your own nature, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. The first time you do something that challenges you, it may feel like an insurmountable task. But when you push through it, when you choose to continue despite the discomfort, you'll experience a sense of accomplishment that will fuel you for the next challenge. You'll learn that discomfort is temporary, and the rewards of pushing through are lasting. Consider the process of physical training. If you want to build strength, you have to push your body beyond its limits. You don't become stronger by staying in your comfort zone and lifting the same weights every day. You have to gradually increase the intensity, challenge yourself, and push through the discomfort that comes with it. It's the same with any area of life where you want to grow, whether it's your career, your relationships, or your personal development. You have to push through discomfort to unlock your full potential. But there's a difference between mindlessly pushing through discomfort and doing it intentionally. It's not about forcing yourself to do things that are harmful or unrealistic, but about choosing the challenges that will help you grow. Pushing through discomfort requires intention and awareness. It's about making conscious decisions to take on challenges that are aligned with your goals and values. It's not about seeking pain for the sake of pain, but about seeking opportunities for growth. The discomfort you face in life is often a reflection of your own limitations. When you experience discomfort, it's a sign that you are pushing the boundaries of what you thought was possible. In those moments, you have a choice. You can either retreat back into your comfort zone, or you can choose to face the discomfort and grow. Every time you choose to push through discomfort, you are strengthening your resilience and building your capacity for future challenges. Growth isn't always a smooth path. It's filled with setbacks, failures, and difficult moments. But it's these very moments that provide the opportunity to build mental toughness and resilience. When things don't go as planned, when you experience failure or frustration, you have the chance to choose how you respond. Do you give up and retreat, or do you choose to press forward and learn from the experience? The more you practice pushing through discomfort, the more resilient you become. You learn to embrace failure as a stepping stone rather than an obstacle, and you begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Another key aspect of pushing through discomfort is learning how to manage your emotions. Discomfort often triggers negative emotions like fear, anxiety, and frustration. These emotions can be overwhelming, but they are a natural part of the process. Instead of allowing them to control you, learn to acknowledge them and choose your response. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, take a moment to pause and breathe. Acknowledge the discomfort, but don't let it stop you. Remind yourself that discomfort is temporary and that you have the strength to push through it. The power of pushing through discomfort also lies in the concept of delayed gratification. In a world that often values instant results, pushing through discomfort teaches you the importance of perseverance and patience. You don't get stronger, smarter, or more successful overnight. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to endure the challenges along the way. The discomfort you feel now is the price you pay for the rewards that will come later. This is why it's essential to maintain a long-term perspective. When you're in the midst of discomfort, it's easy to get discouraged and lose sight of your goals. But if you can remember that the discomfort is leading you towards something greater, it becomes much easier to push through. One of the most powerful ways to build the habit of pushing through discomfort is by setting yourself up for success. This means being clear about your goals and intentions. Know why you're pushing yourself and what you want to achieve. When you have a clear sense of purpose, it becomes easier to push through the discomfort that comes with growth. Without a clear goal in mind, it's easy to give up when things get tough. But when you have a purpose that's bigger than the discomfort, you'll find the strength to keep going. As you continue to push through discomfort, you'll start to notice changes in yourself. You'll become more confident in your ability to handle challenges, and you'll develop a greater sense of self-belief. The more you push through discomfort, the more you realize that you are capable of far more than you initially thought. Each challenge you face and overcome strengthens your sense of self-worth and empowers you to take on even greater challenges in the future. It's important to remember that discomfort is not something to be feared or avoided. It's a necessary part of the growth process. When you learn to embrace discomfort, you unlock the potential within yourself to achieve things that once seemed impossible. Every time you push through discomfort, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more resilient. Over time, this builds up to create a person who is capable of handling anything life throws their way. The key to pushing through discomfort is to recognize that it's not permanent. Just as the discomfort of a workout fades after the session, the discomfort you experience in life will also pass. The strength you gain from pushing through that discomfort will stay with you long after the discomfort itself is gone. It will become a part of who you are. Every time you face discomfort and push through it, you become the person you want to be, the person who is strong, resilient, and capable of achieving their dreams. So the next time you face discomfort, don't shy away from it. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Embrace the discomfort as a sign that you are on the right path, that you are growing and evolving into the person you are meant to be. Keep pushing forward, even when it's hard, even when you feel like giving up, because each time you push through, you are one step closer to the life you want to create.
Chapter 13. Simplify your life to multiply your daily results. In today's fast-paced world, the pursuit of productivity often leads us to overcomplicate our lives with endless tasks, commitments, and possessions. This complexity can dilute our focus, drain our energy, and ultimately hinder our effectiveness. Embracing simplicity, on the other hand, can be a transformative strategy to enhance daily results and overall well-being. By intentionally reducing the superfluous and concentrating on what truly matters, we create space for clarity, purpose, and heightened productivity. Simplifying your life begins with decluttering your physical environment. A cluttered space can overwhelm the senses and impede concentration. Studies have shown that an organized, minimalist environment can lead to improved focus and increased productivity. When our surroundings are orderly, our minds are freer to process information efficiently, leading to more effective work habits and reduced stress levels. Beyond the physical realm, simplifying your schedule is crucial. Overcommitting to various tasks and obligations can lead to burnout and decreased performance. By prioritizing essential activities and learning to say no to non-essential commitments, you can allocate your time and energy more effectively. This intentional scheduling allows for deeper engagement in each task, resulting in higher quality outcomes and a greater sense of accomplishment. Financial simplification is another key aspect. Managing numerous accounts, debts, and expenditures can be overwhelming and time-consuming. Streamlining your finances by consolidating accounts, automating payments, and adhering to a budget can alleviate stress and provide a clearer picture of your financial health. This clarity enables better decision-making and frees up mental resources for other important areas of life. Digital clutter also demands attention. In an age where we are constantly bombarded with emails, notifications, and information, it's easy to become distracted and lose focus. Regularly unsubscribing from unnecessary email lists, organizing digital files, and setting specific times to check messages can help maintain digital hygiene. This practice not only reduces stress, but also enhances productivity by allowing you to concentrate on tasks without constant interruptions. Adopting a minimalist mindset extends to your personal relationships and commitments. Evaluating the quality of your relationships and focusing on those that are mutually supportive and enriching can lead to a more fulfilling social life. Letting go of toxic or draining relationships creates space for positive interactions and personal growth. Simplifying your goals is equally important. While ambition is valuable, pursuing too many objectives simultaneously can be counterproductive. By narrowing your focus to a few meaningful goals, you can channel your efforts more effectively and achieve better results. This approach fosters a sense of purpose and reduces the overwhelm that often accompanies an overloaded agenda. Incorporating mindfulness practices into your daily routine can further enhance the benefits of simplification. Mindfulness encourages present-moment awareness and helps in recognizing and letting go of unnecessary thoughts and worries. This mental decluttering can lead to improved concentration, reduced anxiety, and a greater sense of peace.
The benefits of simplifying your life are manifold. By reducing physical, digital, and mental clutter, you create an environment conducive to productivity and well-being. This intentional approach allows you to focus on what truly matters, leading to more meaningful accomplishments and a balanced, fulfilling life. Chapter 14. Reflect deeply on your actions every single night. Each day provides an opportunity for growth, and one of the most powerful practices you can adopt to ensure continuous improvement is to reflect deeply on your actions every single night. Reflection is not merely about reviewing the events of the day, but about evaluating your choices, learning from your experiences, and using these insights to guide your future decisions. The act of nightly reflection creates a feedback loop that allows you to improve incrementally, setting the foundation for long-term personal growth. In our busy lives, it's easy to go to bed without considering the actions and decisions that shaped our day. However, those moments are rich with lessons that can propel us forward. Reflection helps us pause and assess what worked, what didn't, and how we can do better tomorrow. By making this process a part of your nightly routine, you create a habit of self-awareness that drives intentional action and personal responsibility. The first step in reflecting deeply on your actions is to allocate time for this practice. It doesn't require hours of contemplation, but it does require consistency. You don't need to write long passages in a journal, though journaling can certainly be a helpful tool. The key is to set aside a few minutes before you go to sleep, to sit quietly and review the events of your day. Think about your interactions, your decisions, and your responses to situations. Begin by asking yourself a few powerful questions. What went well today? Which actions contributed to my goals? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? Did I handle setbacks with resilience, or did I let them derail my progress? These questions allow you to hone in on your strengths and weaknesses, giving you the clarity to make better choices moving forward. Another crucial aspect of nightly reflection is recognizing patterns in your behavior. Over time, you'll begin to notice recurring themes in your actions. Perhaps you often procrastinate in the mornings or struggle with staying focused in the afternoons. Identifying these patterns gives you the opportunity to make intentional changes to improve your daily habits. For example, if you notice that you struggle with procrastination in the morning, you can experiment with new strategies to kickstart your day, such as adopting a morning routine that energizes you or prioritizing the most difficult tasks early on. Reflection also involves evaluating your mindset and emotional responses throughout the day. Were there moments when you allowed frustration or stress to cloud your judgment? Did you react impulsively in situations that required patience or thoughtfulness? Understanding your emotional responses helps you become more emotionally intelligent, giving you the ability to manage your feelings rather than letting them dictate your actions. By recognizing when emotions are influencing your behavior, you can take control of your reactions and choose a more measured response in the future. In addition to personal actions and emotional responses, your interactions with others should also be examined. How did you communicate with colleagues, family members, or friends? Were your conversations constructive and supportive, or were there moments of conflict or miscommunication? Reflecting on these interactions allows you to assess your social dynamics and identify ways to improve relationships. If you notice that a particular conversation didn't go well, think about what you could have done differently to create a more positive outcome. As you reflect, it's important to approach the process with self-compassion. Many people are their harshest critics, often focusing on their mistakes and shortcomings. While it's crucial to acknowledge areas for improvement, it's equally important to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they may seem. Reflecting on your successes, whether it's completing a challenging task, maintaining focus, or handling a stressful situation with grace, reinforces positive behavior and builds confidence. Once you've reflected on your actions and behaviors, take the next step, plan for the future. Use the insights you've gained to adjust your goals and strategies for tomorrow. For example, if you struggled with time management today, you could decide to implement new techniques such as time blocking or setting clearer priorities for the following day. If you encountered a difficult conversation, you might resolve to approach future interactions with more empathy or patience. Writing down your reflections in a journal is a highly effective way to solidify your insights and track your progress. Journaling doesn't need to be a lengthy process. It can be as simple as writing down a few key takeaways from the day, such as "I handled today's stress better than I expected," or "I could have communicated more clearly during my meeting." This written record serves as a tangible reminder of the actions and decisions you've made, allowing you to see your growth over time. When you consistently engage in nightly reflection, you begin to strengthen your sense of accountability. You become the architect of your own growth, rather than leaving it to chance. By reviewing your day with intention, you ensure that you're actively learning from your experiences and applying those lessons to future situations. This practice fosters a growth mindset where challenges are seen as opportunities for improvement rather than obstacles. Moreover, nightly reflection enhances self-discipline. The process encourages you to be honest with yourself about your actions and decisions, which can help you stay on track toward your long-term goals. When you take the time to reflect, you remind yourself of your values and priorities, which reinforces your commitment to making intentional choices every day. One of the most powerful outcomes of nightly reflection is the clarity it provides. By regularly evaluating your actions and behaviors, you gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. Your goals and values become clearer, and you develop a stronger sense of direction. As a result, you're able to make more focused and purposeful decisions, which ultimately leads to greater success and fulfillment. Reflection also promotes mindfulness, as it encourages you to slow down and be present with your thoughts. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to become disconnected from your inner self. Reflection provides an opportunity to reconnect with your intentions, assess your emotional state, and consider the impact of your actions. This mindfulness helps you stay grounded, even in the midst of chaos, and enables you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Additionally, by regularly reflecting on your actions, you build resilience. Each day brings new challenges, and how you respond to them shapes your ability to persevere. Reflection allows you to acknowledge moments of struggle and understand how you overcame them, reinforcing your capacity to bounce back stronger. With each challenge, you grow more capable of handling adversity with composure and strength. Ultimately, deep reflection on your actions every night cultivates a sense of personal integrity. You begin to live in alignment with your values, making decisions that are congruent with your long-term goals and aspirations. This alignment fosters a profound sense of peace, knowing that you are intentionally creating the life you desire. By making reflection a nightly practice, you pave the way for continuous self-improvement and lasting success. The process is simple yet powerful. Review, assess, adjust, and act. In doing so, you take ownership of your growth and build a foundation for a more intentional, fulfilling life. When you reflect deeply on your actions each night, you turn each day into an opportunity for progress, learning, and personal evolution.
Chapter 15. Choose your environment to support your best self. Your environment is shaping you every single day, whether you're aware of it or not.
The spaces you walk through, the people you speak with, the energy that surrounds you, it all leaves an imprint. It either strengthens the person you're working to become, or it slowly pulls you away from that vision. When you're trying to grow, evolve, and reach higher levels of self-discipline and focus, you can't afford to leave your environment up to chance. You must consciously choose it, design it, and protect it. You must build an environment that reflects your intentions and elevates your mindset. Too often, people underestimate how much their surroundings influence their behavior. They think change only comes from within, that discipline is purely a matter of willpower. But even the strongest minds can be weakened by toxic surroundings, and even those with the deepest ambitions can lose their momentum if they remain in spaces that drain them. Willpower is not infinite. It fades, especially when it's constantly tested by chaos, clutter, and distractions. That's why it's essential to create an environment that doesn't compete with your goals, but supports them at every turn. It starts with physical space. Look around the areas where you spend most of your time. What do those spaces say about you? Do they represent your highest self or your most distracted self? Your room, your workspace, your kitchen, every corner of your life tells a story. If you walk into your space and immediately feel overwhelmed, cluttered, uninspired, or drained, that's your environment working against you. On the other hand, when you walk into a space that's clean, purposeful, and organized with intention, it becomes easier to think clearly, act decisively, and move with discipline. Decluttering isn't just about getting rid of things, it's about removing friction from your daily life. Every time you have to search for your keys, dig through piles of junk, or sit down to work in a messy space, you're spending energy that could have been used to build your dreams. Your environment should be structured to reduce friction and increase clarity. This means setting up systems, placing tools where you need them, preparing your space the night before, simplifying what you own, and keeping only what adds value to your life. Beyond the physical, your digital environment needs just as much attention. Your phone, your laptop, your notifications, your social media, these are all extensions of your environment. If every time you pick up your phone, you're bombarded with distractions, mindless content, or negativity, that energy filters into your day. You have to take control of what you allow into your mental space. Clean up your digital world. Unfollow accounts that make you feel small. Silence notifications that interrupt your flow. Organize your devices so that they serve your goals rather than distract you from them. But there's something even more influential than your physical or digital surroundings, the people you allow into your space. Your social environment can make or break you. The energy of the people around you is contagious. If you're surrounded by people who complain constantly, who gossip, who make excuses, or who mock discipline and ambition, it's only a matter of time before that energy rubs off on you. You don't have to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to become brutally honest about how people are affecting you. Some people drain your energy just by being around them. Others inspire you to rise. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel motivated, supported, and focused, or do you feel tired, discouraged, and distracted? Don't ignore those feelings. They're signs pointing you toward a better direction. Seek out people who challenge you to level up, who hold themselves to high standards, who speak with clarity and purpose. You want to be around people who remind you of your mission, not people who make you forget it. Your environment is also made up of the habits you repeat within it, your rituals, your routines, the cues that trigger certain behaviors. They're all rooted in the environment you're immersed in. If every time you walk into the living room you turn on the TV, That's a pattern shaped by the space itself. But if you change your surroundings, maybe you remove the remote, maybe you set a book on the couch instead, the space starts to cue different behaviors. This is how you train your brain to associate certain environments with productive actions. It's not about relying on motivation, it's about structuring your world so the right choices become automatic. Lighting matters, music matters, smells matter. The smallest details of your environment affect your mood and performance. Don't overlook them. A well-lit room can make you feel more energized. A certain playlist can help you concentrate for hours. The scent of fresh air or a clean candle can lift your mindset and make work feel more engaging. These aren't luxuries, they're tools, and when used correctly, they amplify your ability to perform. Choosing your environment is an act of self-respect. It says, I care enough about my goals that I'm going to build a world that supports them. You don't need to wait for the perfect place or a fancy setup. You start with what you have. You clean your space. You remove what doesn't belong. You add elements that remind you of your vision. Maybe it's a quote on the wall, a whiteboard with your goals, or even just a photo that inspires you. These are the signals your brain needs to stay locked in. Sometimes you'll have to create mental environments when the physical one can't be changed. You might live in a noisy household or work in a chaotic place. But even then, you can design your internal world. You can wear headphones and build focus. You can wake up earlier or stay up later to find moments of peace. You can train your thoughts to stay sharp, no matter what's happening around you. That's the beauty of a powerful mind. It can carve clarity out of noise. But that kind of mental strength only comes from effort and consistency. One of the most transformative things you can do is to audit your environment regularly. Every few weeks, take inventory. What's helping you? What's holding you back? What needs to be removed? What needs to be added? This process keeps you aligned and prevents stagnation. You're not just growing internally. You're upgrading your surroundings to match the next version of yourself. And when your environment evolves, so do you. You also have to consider the environments you visit frequently: coffee shops, gyms, stores, offices. These places influence you too. Start choosing spaces that energize you, not ones that drain your focus or encourage unhealthy habits. If your current gym doesn't push you, find a new one. If your usual hangout spot is full of distractions, switch it up. You have the power to be selective. Where you spend your time is where you're spending your life. Make it count. Energy is everything. Protecting your environment is about protecting your energy. You can't afford to let negative influences erode your discipline. You've worked too hard to be pulled back by things you can control. Take ownership. Be deliberate. Build a world around you that reflects your highest standards, not your lowest habits. Every decision, every item, every person in your space should serve a purpose or spark growth. If it doesn't belong. People talk a lot about motivation, but real change comes from structure, from systems, from environments that make the right action easier and the wrong action harder. That's how you win consistently, not through bursts of inspiration, but through daily alignment with your values and goals. Your environment isn't just the backdrop to your life. It's the framework that holds your potential. Shape it wisely. When your environment supports your best self, discipline becomes natural, focus becomes effortless. Your goals start to feel within reach, not because they got easier, but because you've removed the barriers. You've cleared the path. You've created a space where your mind can thrive, your habits can flourish, and your character can grow. That's not luck. That's design. That's you taking control of your life from the inside out. This isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment.
Every day you choose to protect your space, refine your surroundings, and upgrade your environment. You reinforce your identity as someone who's serious about growth, someone who's done playing small, someone who knows that the future isn't built by chance but by deliberate action. Start choosing your environment with the same intensity that you choose your goals, because when your environment aligns with your purpose, everything changes, everything improves, and most importantly, you become who you were always meant to be.
Chapter 16. Challenge your limits by setting bold daily goals. To achieve greatness, you must be willing to challenge the limits you've set for yourself. The biggest barrier most people face is their own mindset, the belief that what they've accomplished in the past is all they are capable of achieving. The truth is that the only limits you face are the ones you've created. You are constantly evolving, and as you grow, so too can your goals. But to break free from the invisible boundaries you've set, you must push beyond the comfort zone. You must set bold goals that stretch your potential every single day. Challenging your limits isn't about working harder for the sake of it. It's not about sheer willpower or gritting your teeth through exhaustion. It's about making deliberate choices that force you to grow, choices that demand more from you than you ever thought you could give. By setting bold daily goals, you activate the untapped potential that's always been inside you. You force your mind to think bigger, to reach higher, and to perform better. When you make a habit of it, pushing your limits becomes second nature. Too often, people settle for mediocrity because their goals are too small. They don't challenge themselves enough, so they don't see the kind of growth that could have been possible. It's easy to set goals that are comfortable, things you know you can achieve without too much effort. But comfort doesn't lead to greatness. Comfort keeps you stuck, it keeps you at your current level, and it limits the future you could create. If you want to transform your life, you need to get comfortable with discomfort. You need to set goals that push you beyond your current capabilities. Goals that force you to evolve into someone better, stronger, and more capable. Setting bold goals doesn't mean you need to leap to extremes every day, but it does mean you have to think differently. It's about expanding your perspective. If your goals are the same as they were yesterday, it's time to recalibrate. Imagine what you could accomplish if you consistently set goals that stretched you a little bit further every day. When you challenge your limits daily, you'll start to see results that feel impossible now, but will soon become your new normal. It starts with the way you approach your daily goals. Most people wake up with a vague sense of what they need to do that day. They have a few things on their to-do list, but it's all too easy to get distracted or simply go through the motions. Instead of going through the day passively, approach it with intention. Every day should be an opportunity to break through a new barrier. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what's one bold goal I can achieve today that will take me closer to my highest self? This isn't about achieving everything in a single day. It's about making consistent progress by pushing yourself further than you did yesterday. It's about the mindset of continuous improvement. Start small but think big. It's important to stretch yourself within the context of your daily life. If you're trying to build a new habit or achieve a large goal, break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. But don't make the mistake of making the smaller pieces too easy. Your goal should still challenge you, even when broken down into smaller tasks. If you're trying to get into shape, don't just aim for a walk around the block. Set a goal to run a mile, or try a new form of exercise that's just beyond your comfort zone. If you're looking to build a new skill, don't settle for the basics, aim to complete something more challenging. It's the act of consistently stretching your limits that breeds growth. Setting bold goals is also about redefining what's possible for you. If you've been telling yourself that you're not a morning person, or that you're not great at math, or that you don't have time to work on your goals, challenge those beliefs. They are limiting beliefs. They restrict your potential because they're based on past experiences or fear of failure. These beliefs trap you in a mental box. But once you begin to challenge them, once you set a goal that forces you to break out of the box, you realize those limits weren't real to begin with. When you set a bold goal, you're challenging the stories you've told yourself. You're rewriting your narrative. Accountability is another key to successfully pushing your limits. While setting bold goals is important, having someone to keep you accountable elevates the stakes. When you tell someone your goals, whether it's a coach, a mentor, or a friend, you make a commitment. This commitment creates external pressure, but in a healthy way. Knowing that someone else is checking in on your progress forces you to act with integrity and consistency. It's no longer just about your internal drive, it's about honoring your word and pushing through any resistance. Moreover, tracking your progress is an essential part of challenging your limits. If you're not tracking how far you've come, it's easy to get discouraged or lose focus. Every time you hit a milestone, no matter how small, celebrate it. It's proof that you're pushing yourself, that you're challenging your limits, and that you're making progress. Tracking your progress keeps you grounded in reality and provides valuable feedback on your growth. You'll start to see patterns where you tend to falter, where you excel, and where you need to put in more effort. Tracking gives you the information you need to make informed decisions about your goals, allowing you to fine-tune your approach to growth. One of the most important aspects of setting bold goals is learning to embrace discomfort. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. As soon as you start pushing past your limits, you'll experience resistance. It may come in the form of mental fatigue, self-doubt, or physical strain. It may come from others, people who question why you're aiming so high, or who don't understand your ambition, but none of that matters. What matters is that you continue to press forward, regardless of the discomfort. Every time you push through a challenge, you grow. Every time you do something that scares you, you get stronger. Discomfort is the key to expanding your capacity, and it's essential if you want to break through the limits you've set for yourself. Understand that pushing your limits is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. The goals you set today should be designed to challenge you, but also to build momentum for tomorrow. Over time, you'll begin to see how much more you're capable of. You'll realize that what once seemed impossible is now within reach, and that sense of achievement will propel you even further. Each new challenge becomes an opportunity to demonstrate just how far you've come. The biggest transformation comes not from achieving the goals themselves, but from the person you become in the process. Every day you challenge your limits, you are forging a new version of yourself, someone who is capable, resilient, and determined. Your mindset shifts, your belief in your ability to succeed grows. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. By setting bold goals, you force your mind to expand, to think creatively, and to find new ways of achieving what you want. And as you grow, so does your potential. Setting bold daily goals is the fastest way to see transformative growth, but it requires a commitment to consistently stepping outside of your comfort zone. It requires the willingness to face discomfort, to embrace failure as a stepping stone, and to track progress so that you can continually improve. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every day challenge your limits. Every day push yourself further than you did before. And every day realize that there is no ceiling to what you can achieve. You are limitless, and once you embrace this truth, you'll begin to see just how high you can fly. Chapter 17. Feed your body with discipline and self-respect. Your body is not just a vessel for your soul, it is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. How you care for your body is a direct reflection of how you respect yourself. Too many people overlook the vital connection between self-respect and physical health. We live in a world where instant gratification is often prioritized over long-term well-being, and convenience trumps discipline. But true discipline is about consistently making decisions that feed your body in ways that support your growth, vitality, and energy. Feeding your body with discipline and self-respect is not just about what you eat, but also how you care for your physical being. It's about honoring your body by treating it as a temple. The food you consume is fuel, and your exercise routines are part of the sacred ritual of maintaining your health. By feeding your body with respect, you ensure that it remains strong enough to carry you through your daily challenges and continue to push you towards your highest potential. The first step in feeding your body with discipline is recognizing that you are the one in control of what goes into your body. No one else makes the choices for you. Sure, you may face external pressures, advertisements, peer influence, convenience, but ultimately it's your decision whether you nourish your body with healthy food or allow it to be filled with empty calories and substances that drain your energy. It's easy to give in to temptation, to succumb to that donut or that fast food meal, but every time you make a choice that doesn't align with your values or long-term goals, you are disrespecting yourself. You are telling your body that it doesn't deserve the best. In a society that is constantly offering easy solutions and instant pleasures, it takes discipline to make conscious decisions about what you consume. But true self-respect comes from the consistency of those choices. When you consistently choose foods that nourish your body, you're telling yourself that you matter, that your health is a priority, and that you are worth the effort. The foods you eat have a direct impact on your physical and mental well-being. You don't need to become a nutritionist or overhaul your entire diet in one day, but small, incremental changes can have a profound impact on how you feel and perform. Start by being mindful of what you put into your body. Choose nutrient-dense foods that give you the energy you need to thrive. Whole grains, lean proteins, fruits and vegetables provide the fuel that helps your body run at its peak. They are packed with vitamins, minerals and antioxidants that protect your cells, boost your immune system and support your metabolism. Discipline means making conscious choices, even when it's inconvenient. It's easy to grab a snack from the vending machine, but that's not feeding your body with respect. It's easy to binge on processed foods when you're stressed, but these choices will only leave you feeling sluggish and drained. True discipline lies in making decisions that support your body's needs, not its fleeting cravings. It means planning ahead, preparing healthy meals, and resisting the urge to choose what feels good in the moment. But feeding your body with respect goes beyond just food. It's also about how you treat it physically. Regular exercise is a fundamental aspect of self-respect. Your body is made to move, and when you choose to exercise, you are honoring its design. Movement is vital for maintaining strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular health. It's not about achieving a certain physique or hitting a specific weight. It's about taking care of your body so it can continue to serve you for years to come. Exercise also has profound effects on your mental well-being. Physical activity releases endorphins, which help reduce stress and improve mood. It can give you clarity, boost your confidence, and increase your resilience to challenges. Regular exercise also teaches you the importance of consistency, which translates into other areas of your life. The discipline you cultivate in your fitness routine can be carried over into your work, your relationships, and your personal growth. However, discipline in feeding your body is not just about physical activity and eating right. It's about listening to your body's needs and respecting its signals. Rest is just as important as exercise. Many people push their bodies to the limit, believing that working harder or depriving themselves of sleep will lead to success. But rest is where the body regenerates. It is where muscles repair, energy is restored, and the mind recalibrates. Without adequate rest, you cannot sustain peak performance. You are disrespecting your body when you ignore its need for recovery. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Make sleep a priority. Set boundaries that allow you to get the amount of rest you need to feel your best. This might mean turning off screens an hour before bed, creating a calming evening routine, or setting a regular bedtime. Giving your body the rest it deserves is a clear demonstration of self-respect. It's an acknowledgement that you value your health enough to prioritize your well-being over anything else. In the journey of feeding your body with discipline and self-respect, mental clarity and mindfulness are powerful allies. When you are mindful of your body's needs, you develop a deeper connection with it. You learn to recognize the subtle cues that tell you when you are hungry or full, when you need movement or rest, and when something isn't right. Developing this awareness is essential for feeding your body with discipline. It requires tuning into your body's rhythms and responding appropriately. Mindfulness also helps in recognizing when you're feeding your body out of emotional needs rather than genuine hunger. Many people turn to food for comfort when they're stressed, anxious, or bored. However, this does not honor the body. It temporarily numbs emotions, but it does not nourish you. To feed your body with discipline, you need to be aware of your emotional triggers and learn to deal with them in healthy ways that don't involve turning to food. This is where self-respect comes in, choosing to address your emotions in constructive ways, whether that's through talking to someone, meditating, exercising, or journaling, instead of using food to cope. When you make the conscious decision to feed your body with discipline and self-respect, you begin to see profound changes in your physical, mental, and emotional state. Your body becomes stronger, more resilient, and more energized. Your mind becomes clearer, more focused, and more driven. You become more in tune with your needs and more intentional with your actions. Each choice you make is a reflection of how much you value yourself. You become the person who takes the time to prioritize their health, who plans meals thoughtfully, who schedules exercise, and who respects the importance of rest. You become the person who doesn't just go through life on autopilot, but who consciously creates a life that supports their highest potential. Feeding your body with discipline and self-respect is not about perfection. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports long-term health and well-being. It's about consistently choosing what's best for you, even when it's difficult. It's about showing up for yourself every single day with the understanding that your body is a precious asset that deserves care, attention, and respect. When you commit to feeding your body with discipline, you are setting the foundation for a life filled with energy, vitality, and the capacity to achieve anything you set your mind to. Every small, consistent action adds up, and over time it transforms you into a person who lives with purpose and intention. Chapter 18. Learn from failure without breaking your confidence. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. We are often taught that failure is something to be feared, avoided at all costs, and seen as a reflection of our inadequacy. This mindset leads many people to either shy away from challenges or, worse, give up after the first few missteps. But failure is not a stain on your character. It is a part of the journey to success, and it holds the power to transform you into a stronger, wiser individual. The key to thriving in the face of failure is learning how to extract wisdom from it without letting it diminish your confidence. Every setback, no matter how crushing it may feel in the moment, is an opportunity to grow. But that growth only happens if you approach failure with the right mindset. It's essential to understand that failure is not an endpoint. It's a process, a stepping stone that leads you closer to the person you are meant to become. When you embrace failure in this way, it loses its power to break you, and instead, it becomes the very thing that propels you forward. The first step in learning from failure, without breaking your confidence, is to separate your actions from your identity. When you fail at something, it's easy to start thinking of yourself as a failure. You may begin to question your abilities or even your worth as a person. But failure is simply an event, not a reflection of who you are. Just because you fail at something doesn't mean you are a failure. Your actions do not define your entire being. It is crucial to remind yourself that failure is a natural part of trying and learning. It is not a permanent mark, it is temporary, and it is a sign that you are pushing yourself to new limits. Every successful person has faced failure. In fact, many of the most successful people in the world have failed multiple times before achieving their goals. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Or consider Michael Jordan, who was famously cut from his high school basketball team. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up lies in how they respond to failure. They choose to learn from it instead of letting it stop them. They embrace the lessons that come with failure, and they use those lessons to refine their approach, to build resilience, and to ultimately reach their goals. To learn from failure without letting it break your confidence, you must first acknowledge it without judgment. When failure happens, resist the urge to beat yourself up. Do not allow your mind to spiral into negative self-talk or self-criticism. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you aren't good enough or that you'll never succeed. But self-pity and shame will only keep you stuck in the past. Instead, take a moment to breathe and reflect on what happened. Ask yourself, what went wrong? Why did it happen? What can I do differently next time? This kind of introspection will help you identify the lessons hidden within the experience, allowing you to move forward with more knowledge and clarity. Part of this process involves taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. It's important to be honest with yourself about what you could have done differently. This doesn't mean beating yourself up over your mistakes. It means owning up to them and using that awareness to make better choices in the future. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to take control of your future. You acknowledge that while you can't change the past, you have the ability to shape what happens next. Failure can also teach you the value of persistence and patience. Too often, we expect quick results, especially in a world where instant gratification is just a click away. But lasting success doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort, trial and error, and the ability to push through the hard times. Failure is a reminder that progress is not always linear. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go according to plan, but success is often built upon a foundation of failures that were overcome with persistence and patience. Remember that every failure is simply a temporary setback on the path to success. One of the most important things you can do when you encounter failure is to cultivate self-compassion. Many people are their own harshest critics. When they fail, they tend to treat themselves with cruelty, focusing only on their shortcomings. This self-criticism only exacerbates feelings of inadequacy, making it harder to bounce back. Instead of being your own enemy, be your own ally. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Remind yourself that you are human, that mistakes are part of the process, and that failure does not diminish your worth. Self-compassion allows you to recover faster from setbacks, keep your confidence intact, and move forward with renewed energy. Building resilience is another essential part of learning from failure without breaking your confidence. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and it's developed by facing challenges head-on and not giving up when things get tough. Every failure you experience strengthens your resilience. It teaches you that you can endure difficulty, recover from disappointment, and keep moving forward. The more you encounter and overcome setbacks, the more resilient you become. This resilience not only helps you deal with failure, but also makes you stronger and more capable in the face of future challenges. Another way to learn from failure, without letting it crush your confidence, is to celebrate small wins along the way. When you're working towards a big goal, it's easy to overlook the progress you're making, especially when you face setbacks. But even small steps forward are victories. Acknowledge them and give yourself credit for your perseverance. By focusing on these wins, you maintain a positive outlook and stay motivated even when things don't go as planned. These small victories remind you that you are capable and that failure is just one part of the journey towards success. Sometimes, failure teaches you that you need to adjust your approach. It may reveal that your original plan wasn't the right one, or that there's a more efficient way to reach your goal. Rather than getting stuck in the disappointment of failure, take the opportunity to reassess your strategy. Be open to change, be flexible in your approach, and adapt as necessary. The ability to pivot and adjust is one of the most important skills you can develop. When you view failure as a chance to refine your strategy, you start to see setbacks as an essential part of the creative and problem-solving process. Finally, it's important to understand that failure is a natural and unavoidable part of life. No one is exempt from it. Every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful has faced failure along the way. Rather than fearing failure, learn to embrace it as a teacher. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to refine your approach. When you stop viewing failure as something to be feared and start seeing it as an opportunity for growth, you free yourself from the grip of fear and self-doubt. The ability to learn from failure without breaking your confidence is one of the most empowering skills you can develop. It enables you to face challenges with courage, to continue striving even when things don't go as planned, and to ultimately achieve your goals. By understanding that failure is not an end point, but a step on the path to success, you can approach it with resilience, self-compassion, and a mindset focused on growth. When you do this, you will find that failure no longer has the power to break your confidence. It becomes a stepping stone on your journey to greatness. Chapter 19. Surround yourself with people who build your growth. The people you surround yourself with have an immense impact on the direction your life takes. You can work hard, develop your skills, and focus on your goals, but if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, people who drain your energy, or those who do not support your growth, it becomes increasingly difficult to reach your full potential. The influence of your social circle can either fuel your progress or hinder it, and this is why it is so crucial to choose carefully the people you allow to enter your life. One of the most empowering decisions you can make is to consciously surround yourself with individuals who nurture your growth, inspire your success, and challenge you to become better. These people do more than simply cheer you on. They provide you with wisdom, guidance, and opportunities for growth that you would not encounter on your own. They help you elevate your mindset and perspective, and they hold you accountable for staying focused on your goals. Surrounding yourself with people who are aligned with your values, ambitions, and growth will push you to constantly evolve into the best version of yourself. The truth is that we are the sum of the people we spend the most time with. Our thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors are heavily influenced by those around us. If we spend too much time with individuals who are content with mediocrity, who are negative, or who don't value growth, we are likely to adopt similar attitudes. On the other hand, when we surround ourselves with people who are driven, positive, and committed to personal development, their energy rubs off on us. We are inspired to do better, be better, and reach higher. But how do you identify those people who will truly build your growth and help you become your best self? First, you need to reflect on your own values, goals, and priorities. What is it that you truly want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to become? Once you have a clear vision of your purpose, it will be easier to identify people who align with those goals. You need people in your life who share a similar mindset and a similar drive, people who are actively working on their own growth, and who will encourage and challenge you to do the same. One of the most important characteristics of people who build your growth is that they push you to become better, not by criticizing or belittling you, but by setting a high standard for themselves and encouraging you to rise to that level. These people understand the value of progress and growth, and they want to see you succeed. They are willing to provide constructive feedback and hold you accountable for your actions. They don't enable bad habits or reinforce negative patterns. They encourage you to challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone. Another vital trait to look for in people who will help you grow is their ability to listen and offer support. Growth requires vulnerability, opening yourself up to new ideas, acknowledging your weaknesses, and seeking help when necessary. The right people in your life will create a safe space where you can express your thoughts and struggles without fear of judgment. They will listen attentively, offer thoughtful advice, and share their own experiences to help you navigate your challenges. These people are not just passive participants in your life, they are active contributors to your growth, providing guidance and encouragement when you need it most. But it's not enough to simply have people who are supportive, they also need to challenge you. People who truly support your growth will challenge your assumptions, push you to think critically, and encourage you to take bold action. If everyone around you simply agrees with everything you say, there's no room for growth. True friends and mentors will ask you tough questions, make you consider new perspectives, and force you to evaluate whether you are really giving your best effort. It's easy to stay comfortable in a bubble of people who constantly affirm your current state, but real growth comes from the discomfort of being challenged. Another aspect of surrounding yourself with people who build your growth is the importance of finding mentors. A mentor is someone who has already walked the path you're on and can provide you with valuable insight and advice based on their own experiences. Mentorship is an incredibly powerful tool for personal and professional development. A mentor can help you avoid common pitfalls, provide wisdom during challenging times, and open doors to new opportunities. But mentors aren't just people who give you answers, they are people who empower you to think for yourself, push you to find solutions, and help you unlock your own potential. Moreover, you should seek out people who inspire you, not just in their accomplishments, but also in their values and character. Success is not just about achieving goals, it's about how you live your life along the way. Surround yourself with individuals who embody qualities like integrity, kindness, perseverance, and discipline. These qualities are often as important, if not more important, than external achievements. People who demonstrate strength in character will inspire you to cultivate those same qualities in yourself. They remind you that growth isn't just about external success. It's about becoming the person you are meant to be on the inside as well. However, it's important to recognize that surrounding yourself with people who build your growth does not mean you need to cut ties with everyone who doesn't align with your values or goals. Not every relationship has to be centered around growth and success. You can have friends who enjoy different things or who are on a different path. The key is balance. You need a strong core of people who are aligned with your growth and aspirations, but you can also enjoy friendships with people who bring joy, fun, and a different perspective to your life. The trick is ensuring that the majority of the time you are spending with others is spent with those who push you forward. Additionally, it's essential to be that person for others as well. The process of growth is mutual. If you are surrounded by people who are helping you grow, it's only right that you offer the same support in return. Be a positive influence on those around you, encourage their growth, challenge their ideas, and be willing to share your own knowledge and experiences. Growth is not a solitary endeavor. It thrives when it is nurtured within a community of like-minded individuals who are all striving to become better versions of themselves. The impact of your environment on your growth is undeniable. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, your habits, and your trajectory in life. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you must be intentional about the company you keep. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and help you become the person you are meant to be. Choose relationships that support your goals and values, and seek out mentors who can guide you on your journey. In turn, be that person for others, creating a cycle of growth and empowerment that elevates everyone involved. Your growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens within a network of people who share your commitment to improvement. Choose wisely, and you will find that the people around you can be the most powerful force driving your progress.
Chapter 20. Stay loyal to the path you promised yourself. Staying loyal to the path you promised yourself is one of the most essential practices for achieving long-term success and fulfillment. It's not just about setting goals and making promises. It's about honoring those commitments through consistent action, regardless of the challenges or obstacles that may arise along the way. The path you choose for yourself is a reflection of your desires, values, and aspirations. It is your unique journey, one that only you can walk, and one that requires dedication, discipline, and unwavering loyalty to your purpose. When you make a promise to yourself, whether it's to become healthier, to pursue your passion, or to achieve a specific career goal, you are establishing a foundation for your future. This promise is rooted in your vision for the life you want to create. But promises, especially the ones made to ourselves, are often the easiest to break. The world will try to pull you in different directions, distractions will arise, and temptations will challenge your willpower. It's easy to forget why you started in the first place, or to convince yourself that it's not worth the struggle. But to stay loyal to the path you've set requires mental fortitude and a commitment to your future self. Staying loyal to the path you promised yourself is about developing resilience and the ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. It's about understanding that success doesn't come overnight, and that the journey will be filled with highs and lows. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when progress seems slow, or when the setbacks feel overwhelming. It is during these moments that your loyalty to your path will be tested. Will you stick with it, or will you let external circumstances dictate your course? The most successful individuals are not necessarily the ones who experience the least amount of challenges, but rather the ones who have mastered the art of staying loyal to their journey even when things get tough. They know that the obstacles are part of the process, and that perseverance is the key to overcoming them. Instead of getting discouraged, they stay the course,
adjusting their strategies when necessary, but never losing sight of the destination. One of the key elements of staying loyal to your path is cultivating a strong sense of discipline. Discipline is the muscle that keeps you moving forward when motivation wanes. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes based on your emotions and circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is built through consistent action, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to keep pushing through the discomfort, to continue taking steps forward when the path gets difficult. Without discipline, the initial excitement of a goal can easily fade, and the promises you've made to yourself can be abandoned. But with discipline, the promise to stay the course becomes a driving force that keeps you moving forward. Another aspect of staying loyal to your path is the ability to trust the process. The path you've chosen might not always be easy to navigate, and it may not always lead you in the direction you expected. Sometimes, the journey will take unexpected turns, and the lessons you learn along the way may not align with your initial vision. However, trust in the process is essential because growth often happens in ways that are not immediately apparent. The struggles, the setbacks, and the challenges are all part of the journey. They shape you into a stronger, wiser person and prepare you for the success that lies ahead. Staying loyal to your path means trusting that each step, no matter how small or difficult, is moving you closer to your desired outcome. To stay loyal to the path you promised yourself, it's also important to set clear, actionable goals. Vague resolutions like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be healthy" are too abstract to provide the necessary focus and motivation. Instead, break down your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. This makes the journey feel more achievable and helps you track your progress. Each small goal you accomplish becomes a victory, and these wins will fuel your commitment to the bigger picture. When you hit roadblocks, these smaller goals act as checkpoints that help you assess your progress and adjust your course as needed. Equally important is maintaining a mindset of patience and persistence. It's easy to expect quick results, especially in today's world of instant gratification. But true success takes time, and the process is often much slower than we anticipate. Staying loyal to your path means accepting that progress may not always be linear. There will be times when you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort without seeing immediate results. This is when your commitment to the long-term vision will carry you through. Understand that every effort counts, even when it doesn't seem to yield instant rewards. The compound effect of small, consistent actions over time will lead to big results. Additionally, you will need to make sacrifices in order to stay loyal to your path. Growth requires a level of discomfort, and sometimes it means letting go of habits, relationships, or distractions that do not serve your greater purpose. Staying loyal to your path means choosing what is best for your future self, even if it means saying no to temporary pleasures or comforts. These sacrifices are not always easy, but they are necessary for progress. Every time you choose to remain focused on your goal instead of indulging in distractions, you reinforce your commitment to the path you've chosen. One powerful way to stay loyal to your path is to keep your vision at the forefront of your mind. Regularly revisit the reasons why you made this promise to yourself in the first place. What was the driving force behind your decision to embark on this journey? Whether it's to provide for your family, to live a healthier lifestyle, or to achieve a career milestone, remembering the why will help you stay motivated when times get tough. Visualize your success and the impact it will have on your life and the lives of those around you. Use this vision as a constant source of inspiration to keep you moving forward, even when the going gets tough. Another helpful strategy is to find an accountability partner or mentor who can keep you on track. Having someone who believes in your goals and holds you accountable can make all the difference. This person can check in on your progress, offer encouragement when you feel discouraged, and provide valuable advice when you're unsure of the next step. Knowing that someone else is invested in your success can strengthen your resolve and help you stay loyal to your commitment, even when you're tempted to stray from the path. Ultimately, staying loyal to the path you promised yourself requires a deep sense of self-respect and belief in your own worth. You must trust that your goals are worth pursuing and that the effort you put in today will pay off in the future. The process may not always be easy, and there will be times when you question whether it's worth it, but the true measure of success is not in how quickly you reach your destination, but in your ability to stay true to your commitments, no matter the obstacles. The path to